Across the UK, online and on DAB. Access all radios.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip. Talk Radio.
Evening, dear listener. Iain Lee, Talk Radio. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You're more than welcome to. We're going to start off with Brendon Burns, and then we're going to tell you how you can get tickets to come and see Film Ring live. There's only 22 left, so I'd hurry up if I were you. 0844 499 1000.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm so glad that I got her to think of. She's fine as any Valentine. I think about her all the time. Cross my heart and hope to die. She sends me silly messages and pictures, directing traffic in the mall, or buzzing with some brand new shoes. She never fails to surprise. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while. I'm so glad that I got her to think of. We'll have a dinner date tonight and play some Scrabble with the guys and wear our pink party hats. Maybe I should take her on safari. You'll see us wave from our canoe if that's what she wants to do. Tell me what's wrong with that. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while. No matter what else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl I should hold on to. No matter whatever else I do, she's still the girl. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And I could hang out with her all day and night. She makes me laugh. She makes me cry. And I would like to be with her for a while.
Evening, dear listener. This is Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. We could have a very, very busy show this evening. I don't know. You can call in, of course, as you can. We're going to start off with, well, I was going to be all cheesy and say a friend of mine. He's not a friend of mine because I've not spoken to. When was the last time I spoke to you, Brendon Burns?
Oh, goodness.
Years ago. I mean,
Years ago.
Years and years ago.
Years ago.
I'm going to say 7 years ago. I'm just going to.
I think it's actually, we're on a 7-year loop.
This is. Have we got one of those relationships?
I think it's one of those ones, but it's okay, because I don't feel like I have to do catch-up.
No, good. Well, there's very
There's
little.
about actually 8 people on this planet that I have like a 7-year loop, and it doesn't feel awkward.
It's kind of it's kind of comforting, you know, that every time we get to speak, and sometimes we speak on the phone, and sometimes we sit in a room, and sometimes we sit in a studio together, but we just get a little bit, well, I get a little bit fatter and quite a lot greyer, and you get a bit balder, I think, if I remember correctly, don't I?
No, I went and had it done.
Oh, what did you have done?
It was brutal.
What, you had, what do they do these days? Plugs?
So what they do is, well, the only phobia I've got is needles. Yeah. And it's a needlephobe's nightmare.
Yeah.
And they take follicles out of the back, perfectly good follicles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they stick them in the desert that is the front of your head.
Oh my God, that sounds hellish.
And the thing is, the guy
Flipping
Hey,
heck.
by the way, how's the sound on this? Is it okay? Because I've got you on amplifier, but I'm also using a headset.
Wow, listen to you, man. You've changed. You've changed. It's sounding good. Let me set the scene for those who don't know. This is Brendon Burns, who's a brilliant stand-up comedian. He's filthy. You're still filthy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good. And we worked together in 99, 98 on the
It was 97.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, it was 97.
Wow, we're approaching the 19th anniversary of the very first series, like short 2-week run of the 11 o'clock show.
And I was quite possibly the worst presenter in history.
Well, as I often say,
on YouTube recently, you and I should get together and do my podcast and just.
I'm there
and rip the Mickey out of it. Hey, what are the swearing parameters on talk radio in Britain?
You're not allowed. Is basically it. So I'll come on your podcast.
P or F?
No. We can't say F. Of course you can't say F.
In Australia, they say it on breakfast radio.
Well, Flip, that's Australia for you. You can't say F on British radio, Brendan.
No, P or S.
Oh, well, you sort of can, but I'd have to give you a yellow card.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's so infantile.
Isn't it just?
That is really
Isn't
infantile.
it just?
The fact that we can't say poo-poo or wee.
I often...
Actually, what is truly infantile is we have to say poo-poo or wee.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. I always think, and I tread carefully, I know you will. I always think it's weird. If I say, right, we can't say the C word, but everyone has now got that word reverberating in their ears.
Absolutely.
So I kind of get it, and we get a lot of, kids listening to the show, and which is great.
10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm sorry, raise your kids properly. Send them to bed. Ian, you know what? How about you raise your kids and stop expecting society to douse them in cotton wool? Because you know what? If you get your way and they never hear anything rude or anything you find untoward, they're going to be C's.
Yeah, well, they're going to be right little C's.
They're going to be total C's.
I think it's fair to say, Brendan, that you and I we were the slow burners from the 11 o'clock show. Our moment is Gervais.
If you look at the alumni, it's Ricky Gervais, Sacha Baron Cohen,
Mackenzie Crook, Fred Macaulay.
He's a breakfast radio.
Yeah, Charlie Brooker wrote for it. Jimmy Carr was the warm-up guy.
You know what I found really interesting is you did an interview with Charlie Brooker, and it was really very heartwarming for him because he was saying at the time you guys were the presenters and we didn't know how to talk to you.
Yeah,
and you just admitted to him I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, I was totally out of my depth.
I was petrified, and I just thought, well, if I'm petrified, I'd better just hide behind a mask of false overconfidence.
Well, this is the thing, and I was talking to Adam Buxton about this, that the character that I played on the 11 o'clock show wasn't me. That was what they kind of told me to do, be a sort of a low-budget Chris Morris and be very bolshy and all that. And that's what they told me to do. And I was 24, and I didn't know what I was, so I did what I was told. And I carried on that character after the 11 o'clock show, even though it wasn't really me, because I didn't know, I thought that's what people wanted from me.
Yeah.
What they want is honesty.
They do. Actually, I think as you get older, I think the authenticity goes a long way. I found I've only just started, I listened back to I do a podcast called Dumb White Guy, and I had to take the first couple of episodes down.
Oh, why?
That was just so bad. I was so bad at it. It just, it takes a while for you to realise that people were even listening to you.
Yeah.
And as any kind of broadcaster, you really do need to take into account that people are listening to you, because otherwise you're just a madman. Just this bizarre, uncomfortable stream of consciousness about, well, this is me anyway, about my frustrations with my industry.
Yeah, well, this is what this show turns into. If there's not, and I'm getting grief on Twitter right now from someone who's accusing me of plagiarism, right?
Oh, what did you nick?
Well, I didn't. The thing is, right, I didn't nick anything, right? Yeah. And they're being all smarmy. Well, it's good to know there's another source of that stuff for you to copy them from. We thought we were unique. Oh, do jog on, you. And you are unique, Brendan. You can't be accused of plagiarism, can you?
No, never really happens. You know what? I mean, the fact of the matter is, I've been around for 25 years. I've written a lot of stuff. Like this now is my 7th or 8th special. I've got a special up, and I think that's my 7th or 8th. And to be honest, if anyone wants to steal from me, good luck. I have enough trouble making it work.
What is the special? Is this a DVD? Do people still do DVDs these days?
On YouTube. I've been working on it for a year, and the executive producer credit isn't just cosmetic. I was involved in the producing, the editing, everything, and it's shot in black and white, so it's very kind of arty. But I really wanted to recreate the feeling of a gig, because I did a tour last year of, I don't know if you've heard about it, but the comedy circuit's kind of eating itself somewhat.
In what way? Because I'm so removed from that now.
Well, here's the thing, is I think comedy clubs started pandering to the audience that turned up during the boom period that wanted to see what they saw on television.
Yeah.
And then by pandering to that audience, no one really started taking any risks, and everything became kind of very sanitized.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once that audience came along and turned up to a couple of club nights and realized that, wow, all of these comics are just the same, that audience went away.
Mm.
So fortunately, there's a lot of people that have moved back in and have, started focusing more on the real fans of the art form.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they're having a resurgence in America. They're having a bit of a renaissance period, because everyone that's been doing it for 20 years now got into it when there was no money in it, as opposed to people think it's a shortcut to presenting or whatever. Anyway, during that time, I was getting more than a little frustrated of taking shows to comedy clubs, and the show's called Selfies in the Grand Canyon, and it addresses that quite a bit, how we live in the age of the selfie, and how people want to see themselves reflected in everything.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I thought the point of this was to have a point of view, as something unique. And yet it got to the point where if people didn't see themselves immediately in your act, they were not just, upset, they were downright outraged of just like not just wanting jokes about toasters, but jokes about their specific toaster. It was just like, I live on the 3rd floor and I've got a brother called Brian. Where's your 3rd floor Brian joke?
Yes, exactly. I want it tailor-made to me.
Rather than being adversarial, I ran away and hid. And I did a tour of secret shows in unlisted venues. I did a zoo. I did some guy's kitchen. I did a lounge room. I did just anything but comedy clubs. Yeah. And while I was hearing horror stories of people selling 40 tickets in 500-seaters, the whole thing sold out, added extra dates, everything, because it turns out a lot of people felt that way.
Well, how many people do you fit into a kitchen, Brendon?
It was a big kitchen.
Oh, fair play. All right, I'll go.
There's a guy called Paul Savage. It was Paul Savage's kitchen. He put shows on there.
The thing as well is everybody
on touring.
Everybody wants it for free now as well. Everything's for free.
So that's why I put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I thought, rather than waiting for a deal, I've had it for around about 6 months, and I dropped it yesterday, and this way I get to control it. I get to control where it goes. I get to edit it and put up little snippets of it. And it's definitely, that is the way everything is going. I think also you need to be a jack of all trades now, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. You can't do everything.
Just be a guy that writes funny jokes. You need to learn how to edit. You need to learn how to broadcast. You need to do what you do. You need to produce yourself.
Well, no, hang on. I'm getting looks from Catherine saying, well, no, he doesn't actually produce himself. There's a talented production team here. There is. Brendon, listen, I've got to move on, right?
You run the board, though, don't you?
Well, not anymore. I used to. I came here and I said, I want to learn to run the desk. They said, well, no, why would you want to do that? I don't drive the desk here. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Brendon, listen, I've got to move on. We'll get you back again. Listen, give us the plugs. Where can people find this, and how are you going to make money out of it?
Oh, go to the...
Well, that's what it's about, and you would make a few quid, don't you?
The way everything works now is it's the same way that everything's happened with music, is people steal stuff.
Yeah.
So you may as well give it to them for free.
Wow.
And everything is in ticket sales. But you can go to the BrendonBurnsShow.com, and up there, I think I'm hitting the road with Colt Cabana, and I are going to Birmingham and Manchester and the Edinburgh Festival with our wrestling clip show. Going to the Free Fringe at 6:15, the Liquid Annex Rooms. And the Dumb White Guy podcast is on iTunes. And by all means,
yes,
go to Brendon Burns Comedy on YouTube, and the special, Selfies in the Grand Canyon, is up now. It's not for everyone.
Brendon, let's be showbiz. Let's meet up for a coffee or something soon, shall we?
Yeah, and let's actually, you should do the pod. And
I'll do it. I'll do it, definitely.
Mock ourselves.
I'd love to, man. All right, I'll speak to you later on, Brendon. Take care, mate.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Ta-ta. Absolute pleasure. There we go, Brendon Burns. We'll get him back on again. It's all a bit rushed tonight. It's all a little bit, it's a little bit rushed.
Candyman. Hey, Candyman. All right, everybody, gather around. The Candyman is here. Now, what kind of
sweet chocolate.
He's boozy, he's woozy, but he's not loosey. It's Danny Baker's on the line. Evening, Danny.
Hey, Iain, at last. Here we go. This is... it's the showdown the public have been begging for, huh?
Now, how drunk are you this evening, sir?
I'm okay. I had a couple of free in the garden earlier.
Yes.
So, I'm just about to start on grappa, so this might get interesting. Do I love the grappa. So few people drink it, and it is...
I don't know, I haven't had a drink for 12 years. I don't know what grappa is. I stopped before I got to the grappa. It sounds vicious.
Yeah, a lot of people, when you do it, they say, well, okay, you know... And I'm not one of those who ever bumps chests and say, can you drink this? I don't drink spirits at all. But comes a time when you've had enough wine, you think, yeah, the grappa rounds it off nicely. People have been drinking it for 2,000 years. It's absolutely fine. I'm happy to hear you've stopped, because I like that too. I really do think that's it's an addictive thing, but if you've not got that addictive gene, it's a beautiful thing.
What's the most expensive booze you've ever bought? I tell you why, because when I went years and years ago, I went to the Maldives. When I was getting telly money, right, I went to the Maldives with a girlfriend, and it was the most expensive holiday ever, ridiculous. And the wine menu came round, and there was a bottle of wine that was from 1964, and I thought, a hard day's night.
Beautiful.
And I bought it. It was $600.
Well, I have a good vintner who says, this is what you like, this is what you like, and that's all good. I'm not one of those who says, oh, look, like 11 o'clock at night when everyone's gone, says to everyone, this is the good stuff.
Yes.
I know what good wine is, but I have no eye for it, so my vintner is good. But I was once away with Chris Evans in New York, and there was something on the menu that was £900. I see your 600 and raise it to £900 a bottle.
But was it any good?
But we all looked at each other. This is pretty good, and we looked at it. I said, but if it would have been served this up at $29.99, I do think there's such a good thing as good wine. But once it goes past, £100 a bottle.
Yes.
How do you know? I mean, but it's like stamp collecting, or dare I say, LP collecting. If you're not in the cognoscenti, why would you know? But I think there's a ceiling to it. Certainly there is. But I genuinely am quite drunk talking to you now. I really am.
What is the last record you bought?
The last record, let me look, because I keep them at the side of me here. I've got into quadraphonic records recently, Iain.
Have you got a quadraphonic setup? Can you?
No, you don't need to. Here's the thing, and I don't know if your audience are interested in this, but
who cares about those losers?
I've got here Jackson Browne's "Late for the Sky," which is one of the greatest records ever made. David Gates' first album. There's behind that is Jeff Tongue's Aqualung. They sound different. And whatever your favourite album is, if you are someone from the early 70s, they put out so many records in quadraphonic that you don't need to have quadraphonic for. But if you play them on a stereophonic setup, they sound very, very different. They surprise you. Jackson Browne's "Late for the Sky," suddenly there's an acoustic guitar. There's an organ you've never heard before. And so I would urge people to go to quadraphonic, not because the setup exists, but they were mixed so differently, they're very surprising. And
back to mono, Danny, back to mono.
It is a bit like that. It's like saying, all I want is to hear those records again, and you can hear them differently. So I've been buying a lot of quadraphonic records recently, and those are the most recent ones. Apart from, let's see here, Gentle Giants, The Power and the Glory I bought as well.
I have got my first radio appearance and my first TV appearance, were because of you. Years and years ago, when you were on, I guess it was GLR back then, when it was you, Chris Evans and Chris Morris. What a lineup.
And Chris Evans,
Yeah, what a lineup. Everyone, at the peak of their power, all these young bucks doing all this stuff. And you were giving away a David Essex Greatest Hits. And my mum wanted to win it, so I said, I'll phone up and I'll win one for you. And I got through, and I bottled it. You went, right, we've got Iain on the line from Slough, and I went,
no.
Just get me mum, hang on.
But did you get the album? No?
Yes, we got the album, yes.
Oh, good.
Mum, sweet talk to you.
See, Iain, those were the days before the BBC was caught with its hand in the till.
Yes.
When you could give things away. The BBC don't do it anymore. They don't give holidays away. They don't, because, Weasel suddenly said, they're keeping some of it for themselves. But that's the way it works. The BBC were given 10 box sets, let's say.
Yeah.
So, as you know now, in the office you say, you have one, we'll give 5 away.
Of course.
So still the public get 5 of them.
Yep.
All right. The Office, get 5 of them. Nobody loses, but no. Weasels have to say, they didn't give all of them away. Who's the loser? We got caught with our fingers in the till. Now, are you happy? You don't get any tickets to concerts. You don't get any box sets. You don't get any of albums of David Essex. Are you happy now? And I would love to give things away.
Yeah.
Just let us keep what is ours. It's like the mafia.
It was the weird thing going from the BBC, where I was for 4 years, and then they shafted me, and then coming to commercial, and I suddenly was reminded of all this freedom that we had, that we could give stuff away.
Give stuff away,
yeah.
All right. The BBC, in some respects, is like the mafia, but it looks after the community. We we wet our beak, we wash our hands, but that's fine. But now, if the BBC can't say, here's Springsteen tickets, because somebody might say, I bet you got 4 pairs of them and you gave them to your staff. Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yes.
So what? So what? And now nobody gets Springsteen tickets. Are you happy now?
The BBC is weird, right? I love it, and I was so proud when I worked for the BBC. I was so proud to have that BBC badge.
As you should be. And you and I am, by the skin of my teeth, still employed by them. You, shamefully, as we all know, are not, but we shared that.
And it's the same thing that I know that you've had, where it was, for want of a better word, it was the Suits who they wrote a report on when they got rid of me, and they're saying, we don't think this style of show would generate many phone calls. Hang on a minute, I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, but the fact is that it does.
Yeah.
Ian, the fact that it does is the greatest threat to them. If that was genuine, if people really thought, well, what you do is not fitting it, but the fact that it does is the biggest threat to him, because if you go through media school, as they all do it, you come out with your media degree and it says this is how things work, and then some pirate turns up and turns everything upside down, then you say, well, what are we all here for? Because if you only need, as I know you do, 2 other people, maybe 1 other person to get the show on the air, answer the phones, and you can say, I'm self-contained. But that's a great, great threat to people.
Oh, they were terrified. At one of the stations, 10 minutes, I got a new boss. 10 minutes before the show was on, I'd say, right, I'm going to go down to the studio. What's on the show today, Ian? I'm not sure yet.
Exactly.
And she couldn't handle it.
But you say this, people think, oh my God, they're complaining because their love is or whatever it is. But we've got no choice.
No.
Because the generic doesn't interest us. I could not ever go on the air and say, what's your most embarrassing moment? Where are you from? Because it's called conversation, it's called curiosity, but that, we've both got ourselves into enough trouble with all this, but it is not. Radio is not generic. Radio is not like television. Radio is not something you can do. You can be learned. You're either any good at it or you ain't. And I am 1 2-hour radio show away from not being in radio at all. I have got every single award you can get. They still keep giving it to me, but I am 1 slender show away from not being in radio at all.
This is the thing I don't get, and I don't want to dwell too much on it because I want to celebrate, the good stuff that's going on. But
what's that?
I've cards on the table. I've nicked loads of stuff from you, right? And well, no, totally. And you are, to me, the greatest broadcaster in this country.
Bless you,
and I mean that. And I do not understand why you've only got 2 hours on 5 Live.
Well, I do, and you can say, and say, but I actually do understand what it is, and that's even more bleak, as you do, because, if you come on and say, hey, folks, let's talk about, like tonight, what's happening with the government and all that, but it's such a relief not to do that, but also I say to an audience, don't be sort of talk like this as well. But I would not pretend it's a mystery why we are marginalised, and I won't pretend I'm a victim of it, and I don't dwell on it because I've got other, irons in the fire. But the idea that we've got this kind of generic, homogeneised radio going on is the same as telly now. It's not a free medium, and that's fine. But I will not stand here and say, I should get more radio time. But by the same token, I should get more radio time. Let me put that another way. I should get loads more radio time.
Danny, what do you think of Brexit, and what are your favourite sweets from the 70s? It's easy, and that will get the phones up.
Then you got yourself some radio. But I know, if I was going through the dial, I've said this a few times, Ian, but my greatest template for any kind of broadcasting, and I think what any audience want, is when I used to watch TV and when I used to listen to radio, I used to think, do something that I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Not this modern thing about, we're here for you. We're your radio station. We say what you want. You tell us how are you earning your corn? And I always talk, there was a clip of Buster Keaton, describing a clip in, I think it's still Steamboat Bill Jr., when a hurricane is coming to town. And he said, your only duty is to outthink an audience and then double-cross them.
Beautiful.
So they think, I wouldn't have thought of that. And there's a scene in that when he's literally moving his house across town because there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah.
And everyone's being told to get across town. And so he's got his house literally on a flat-back truck behind his car driving across town. And he's driving across town getting his house out the way of this hurricane. And he stops his car falters as the house is going across a railway line. And he looks at the camera, and there's a train coming. And he thinks, oh, God, there's a train coming towards my house. And Buster Keaton's voice in the voiceover on this said, I just wanted to double-cross the audience. So you can see the train coming, getting closer and closer, this plume of smoke. And he gets out of his car, and he pushes the house, which is on a flat-back truck, and it won't move. And he gets in the car again, and he turns the ignition, and he gets back, and he pushes the house, and the train is getting closer and closer. And one last time, he gets back in the car, and he turns the ignition, and he moves the car just as the train gets there, as they used to in the silent movie days, just as the train, and he moves his house inches away from when the train goes through shot. And he jumps out of his car, and he mops his brow, and he looks at camera, and just at that point, another train from the other side of camera comes in and goes smash and smashes his house.
Beautiful.
The train you haven't seen. And he says, the only duty you have is to let the audience outthink you, then double-cross them. Be better than, anyone would think you would be. That's all you got to do on the radio.
I always get these talks from managers, not from here. Yeah, it will happen, but not from here yet. Where it's, it will. Where it's, try not to be exclusive. Make it inclusive. So if someone just turns on in the radio in their car, they can pick it up straight away. I agree. I want people to work at it.
No, it's not work at it, and it's not asking the audience to jump through hoops. But if I'm driving along there, as a lot of your audience are at this time of night, and if I hear someone say, so what do you think about Brexit? What do you think about what was being said today about? That is generic.
Yeah.
The generic don't work. But if you say to someone, did your grandmother ever have a surprising record in her collection? The audience will lean forward to the radio, and it doesn't matter if because all the radio management care about is if all the lines are lighting up.
Yeah.
But if you put a question like that out, and one phone call comes in, and someone goes, "You were asking if your grandmother had a surprising record in your record collection," and they talk about it, everyone leans forward. You've got to put out about 20 subjects to get that. But if you get one on each rather than 100 on these boring subjects that every radio show puts out and everyone is dependent on, that is the way forward. Because I've done the most, I pride myself on the most unlikely subjects. The most unlikely subjects, my mind is a blank now, but if you get one person ringing on that rather than 1,000 people ringing on, what do you think about Nigel Farage? An audience will lean forward and stick with you.
Where do you stand on Jerry Lewis?
I love Jerry Lewis. I think Jerry Lewis, he's flawed, but I love Jerry Lewis. And as you know, I've tweeted links on Jerry Lewis. Actually,
here comes the grapper.
I could tweet lyrics on Jerry Lewis. One of the first albums we ever had was Jerry Just Sings in Our House.
Yeah.
I did that to cover up.
Well done.
I'm a little bit drunk, but but I love Jerry Lewis. I think Jerry Lewis is a very, very funny man.
I've just started reading The King of Comedy: The Life and Art of Jerry Lewis, and I remember it's funny because I'd not really thought about him for years, and then
Jerry
someone released about 30 minutes of The Day the Clown Cried.
Yeah, but a lot of people use it as a stick.
Oh no, exactly. But I remember it just dawned on me as a kid. I love those Jerry Lewis films.
Of course.
The Nutty Professor.
Why wouldn't you? Because
Artists and Models, all of that.
He thought with Frank Tashlin, who directed a lot of those early films, like a cartoon. Yeah. So if Jerry Lewis has been lifting heavy weights all day, he'll cut to him in bed with very long arms. He's been lifting weights, scratching his foot. That's just funny. But that whole American Borscht Belt humour, it didn't really translate over here, and now we're kind of getting it through Seinfeld and everything else. All right.
Now we're getting it through Seinfeld. That's 20 years ago.
20 years ago. But even so,
yeah.
No, Jerry Lewis is a very, very, very funny person, and he's 92, and over here he'd have been Sir Jerry Lewis by now.
Best Beach Boys song.
Oh Christ!
I'm making you work tonight.
One minute. Let me look. Let me look for the moment. Let me look. I'm getting up my iTunes now.
Yeah.
I've got Beach Boys early, Beach Boys mid, Beach Boys. I really have. So let me look. I'm going to say at the moment.
Yeah.
It's You Need a Mess of Help to Stand Alone.
Oh, mate, yes.
But it's a song I never liked first time round. I've got it in its picture sleeve first time round, and I thought they'd lost their way, and I saw them at the Crystal Palace Bowl.
You saw that concert?
Yeah.
You know there's clips of that on YouTube?
Yeah, you're talking to me now. Yes, of course I saw them there. But You Need a Mess of Help to Stand Alone.
Yep.
And I also probably will go with Steamboat as well from Holland. Because I now realise, as my son first told me, the best Beach Boys period is 1971 to 1973. And he's probably right.
Yeah, I would say 68 to 72. But yes, it's that kind of stuff. You know, the bits of the Crystal Palace gig is on YouTube. You know that. You spend all your time on YouTube.
Yes, I know. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
Do you know the weird thing about that thing you can't see on there? It rained all day.
Yeah.
It rained all day. And the Beach Boys were about 45 to 50 minutes coming on late, and they got booed when they come, and everyone was booing. I couldn't bear it. Everyone was booing, because the Beach Boys could not have been less hip in those days.
Yeah.
They came on stage, and everyone booed, and I thought... Anyway, they started with... the first song they did was... Not California Girls, they did Wouldn't It Be Nice?
Yeah.
And as they went... I swear to God... The sun came out.
Beautiful.
And everyone
Magic.
stood up. And I'm not remembering that. That actually happened.
Yeah.
And they won the audience over from the intro on that. But I was there, totally there.
I love them. I love the Beach Boys because they're so flawed, because they have taken so many missteps. That's what makes them wonderful.
That's the thing. Any bands that, you and I like and anyone likes, everyone says, how about, and it's like McCartney. People say, the Frog Chorus, which was a song written for children, which was spectacularly successful for children.
Which is also magnificent.
But you can't put that against Lennon's, mother, because everything Lennon did after, Plastic Ono Band wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It wasn't Sometime in New York City and all them albums out there weren't very good. But people like to think that. And so they'll always dredge up the weakest link of it, and something like, and that is not McCartney's weakest link, but people love to do that. Oh, he made that. Well, okay,
I like the. Do you know the Memory Almost Full album by Paul McCartney? That's a cracking album. About 2004. It's brilliant.
McCartney's not trading on past glory.
No.
He's making great albums after album after album.
Yeah.
But even if you shouldn't have to put the Beatles against each other. It's a no-brainer. Why people want to go for this specious concept of cool? Oh no, Lennon was cool. Yeah. When was the last time you played, Bleeding the Mind Games? When was the last time you played Sometime in New York City? Because they're not very good.
Yeah.
McCartney just kept knocking them out, and there's plenty on them. But that is not the argument, of course. You shouldn't put Lennon against McCartney, but people somehow do.
I watched the George Harrison doc again, the Scorsese thing the other day.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it since it came out. I was in tears. Oh,
yeah,
God.
but George's back catalogue is very thin.
Oh, it's patchy, thin. Definitely. It starts off well, and then it takes quite a steep nosedive.
Yeah, George made some. George and Ringo are going neck and neck in the ones who've got superfluous albums. They have. I mean,
Sentimental
they really
Journey.
have. And I think George has given a lot of... The stuff he did with the Beatles is really good. I mean, Don't Bother Me and all that stuff is really good. But when he left the Beatles, I still don't really buy... of All Things Must Pass. It's not a treble album. It really ain't
there's one side that's the jam is a waste.
And it's great, and he's George and all that. And by the way, I met all the Beatles.
Oh, come on!
You can ask me another time about when I met all the Beatles. Whenever I do the thing about, I've got a great thing in, which I always instigate. Let's play a game of. shake this hand, because this hand shook the hand of... Now, if I played it with you and I said, give me your hand, who did that hand shake the hand of? Who would you say?
Well, it's, Paul McCartney, obviously.
Well, okay, Paul McCartney. Well, I'd say Paul McCartney, John Lennon, Ringo Starr and George Harrison. Right? Or I could say Bob Hope, or I could say Muhammad Ali, or I could,
Michael Jackson, of course.
Michael Jackson, yes, I could do all of... So, I don't want to make it look like I'm showboating here.
No, but...
But that is a great game to play. But certainly, if we had to choose one, I could take... But if you did your Paul McCartney against my John Lennon, you would win.
Yeah, okay.
You would win.
Okay. When is the third book coming out?
By the way, I've also got Peter Talk, Mickey Dolenz, Mike Nesmith, and David
When did
Jones.
you meet Nesmith?
Oh, man, I'm old, man. Oh, man, you're talking to me now. I'm 60 next year. I've been around a very long time.
I suppose so.
A very long time. Yeah, of course I have.
When's the third book coming out? Because I love the book. I told you, my mum nearly died. My mum.
Hang on. I've got a red light flashing here from my publisher. Yes, that's a question he wants to know.
My mum was very ill, and she went into hospital. Right, she got rushed in, and I thought there was nothing that badly wrong. And the doctor took me to one side and said, "Your mum's probably going to die." I was like,
Jesus!
I know it was terrible. They fixed her. The NHS, wonderful. They fixed her and saved her.
They fixed me as well.
I was thinking it was going to be the last time I was going to see her. I said, Mum, what do you mean to bring into the hospital? Oh, can you bring that Danny Baker book in, please, and read it to me?
For love of God.
And I was and it's filthy, of course. And I'm reading it in this hospital, whispering all the swear words.
Well,
she's
there's got a lot of swearing in it, but I'd like to think they are the patois of the working class.
Oh, it's a beautiful book.
That's the best I can dignify it. I don't... I'm not someone who ever goes below the waist. I'm not someone who ever thinks that, I mean, despite last week during the England game, that the swearing is the thing. I mean, it's just it is the patois of the working class.
What did the Australian website describe you as? There's that Australian website.
There was a website last week after the England game, and I felt the England game deeply, and it said, "This is a master of swearing, a curse guru at the peak of his powers." And that's if you follow me on Twitter. I put on 12,000 Twitter followers that night.
Just for swearing about football?
12,000 Twitter followers.
Fantastic. When is the book coming out? How far are you into it?
It's a work in progress.
Well done.
But the thing is, this book... is the third in the series, and this deals with when I got cancer and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh God, but I'm trying to make it the funniest book on cancer that's ever been written, and I think it is.
Yeah.
But equally, because there's other things in the way, we're doing the second series of Cradle to Grave. I'm doing other stuff, and it's not. I'm being squeamish about the contact matter, but it will be before Christmas. That's all I can say. So it should be out of bite in December. But originally the deadline was July. Then it's been moved to August. Then it went September. I'm saying Christmas. So that vague area of it. And but I think it's very, very funny. I'll say it's the funniest book ever written about having the virtually terminal cancer ever been written. There you go.
I look forward to it. Danny, I've got to go. It's so nice to talk to you at last.
Yeah, of course you have, mate. Thank you very much for asking me.
And listen, it's an absolute pleasure. Keep tweeting me those Monkeys links, and we'll speak again soon, mate. Take care.
Yeah, as you know, Ian, we are, few here, us happy heroes, but who knows what the future brings, and you, my friend, are the absolute best at it.
Oh, my God bless you, Danny.
No, you are. I think your audience know that. So thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Danny. Speak to you later on. Take care, mate. There we go. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? 0844 499 1000. So what are your views on Brexit? Right, well, that was unexpected. Both of those guests were kind of very, very last minute. Brendon got in touch. Well, not last minute. Brendon emailed me earlier this afternoon, and we'll get him on again to talk a little bit longer and plug all his bits and pieces. And Danny, just before the show, in fact, at the start of the show, as the news was booting up, he said he'd come on. So that was fun. So we're starting the show at 11:15. What do? I don't know. Whatever you fancy. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. It all seems a bit, to start the show now, I feel a bit, ooh. Do you know what I mean? A little bit, ooh. But we'll see where we get to. David's on the line. Good evening, David.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
All right, how's it going?
Oh, it's Elmo.
Yes, it's me.
Give your phone a bash.
Is it broke? Come on!
Don't shout at it. Just say something.
Hello.
Yeah, that's better. Why does hitting the phone work?
I don't know. Why does hitting anything work?
Well, I don't know if hitting anything does work.
It works for TV. Well, it used to work for the old TVs, the ones with sides on them.
Well, it used to work for TVs in sitcoms in the 70s.
Yeah, no, that's
I have no recollection of a TV in my possession ever being made to work by hitting it.
Oh, we definitely have one of those. Definitely.
Now, I know why you've called in.
Yeah.
You've got a good one for us.
I've got a good one.
David has got a good question for us. He tossed it out on Twitter, and I have to be so careful these days. Since I've been accused of being a plagiarist, I can't just take anything I want from online, it would appear.
Oh, I did have my lawyers at the ready.
Thank you very much indeed. But David tossed one out, and I thought, well, that's rubbish. I'm going to ignore that. But then I noticed it was generating a lot of traffic, and I thought, I'm going to nick that. And I said, why don't you come on and you can sell it better than me? What is your question for the listener?
You say it's rubbish, but it's actually genius, right? What's the best final round in a UK-based TV game show?
That is a flipping brilliant question.
That's what we call a banger.
Do we call it a banger?
I do.
Why would you call it a banger?
I don't know.
A banger is a car?
I don't know. I thought isn't that what the kids say?
Oh, by the way, can I just say, David?
Yeah.
Catherine and I are hosting an evening.
Yes.
Ian and Kath's, and I nearly called it hashtag film ring, because everything has a hashtag. If you have a hashtag, it means it gets popular, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what that means, yeah.
So I didn't. Ian and Kath's film ring, and basically on August the 21st, Sunday, in a pub in the Angel, room above a pub, near the Angel, we're going to show They Killed My Cat, which is the movie directed by and starring Elliot Scott, the star of Kung Fu Elliot.
Right.
Did you watch Kung Fu Elliot?
No.
Oh, why did you not watch that, you plum?
I have no time. Sorry.
But you've got time to phone up.
I haven't really. I mean, you just asked me to, and I've been sitting here since, admittedly, listening to a brilliant interview, but I've been sitting here since 10 o'clock when I could have been playing video games.
I've just noticed there was a private message from Danny on Twitter saying, I go to bed just after 10:15, make it sharp. And so I kept it for ages. Anyway, right, so Kung Fu Elliot was the documentary, right, that everyone was supposed to watch for their homework for hashtag film ring.
Right.
So we're going to show They Killed My Cat. We're also going to show some scenes that were cut out of the documentary Kung Fu Elliot. And if the technology works, we're going to have a live Q&A with one or two of the directors via Skype, right?
Yeah.
You can buy tickets on I don't know where you can buy tickets from. I haven't got the link. I have to find the link, right? But I only put them on sale today. There's 80 tickets, right?
Yeah.
We've sold 68 already.
That's impressive.
That's an impressive package.
I mean, this is all very exciting, but what has this got to do with UK-based?
Well, I'll tell you what it's got to do with it. I am hoping that by me mentioning it, we can sell those last 12 tickets while I pretend to listen to your phone call.
Okay, that's insulting. And also,
yes,
it's taking a shine off what is the best question ever to be asked on this show.
You're right. So the best question is, have you bought your tickets for Ian and Kath's film ring? And I don't know. I don't know how you find the address is to buy them from.
Google, innit? Google.com?
Well, no. Well, no, that's not helpful at all. Okay, right. I'll work out how to do it. So, can someone tweet me the link and I'll do it. I'm busy. I'll stop arguing with people who are accusing you of plagiarism. Right. Okay. So the best game final. What is it? The best.
The final round. So, I mean, you suggested 3, 2, 1. I watched that. It was rubbish. I think you just threw that out there because you like the show. And fair enough, if that's what you like, then that's what you like.
3, 2, 1. What was the... Well, hang on a minute. Well, remind me. What was the final game of 3, 2, 1 then?
3 celebrities came out with a prop, giving a hint of what the prize would be.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
They had to work out what the prize.
Yeah, it was good because the clues were so cryptic.
No, I mean, it was nonsense. I don't know where you got that from. Golden balls is the correct answer, so we're probably looking for second place.
Well, hang on a minute. What's the end of That's the one with Jasper Carrot, is it?
Yeah, it was rubbish. It was an awful programme. But the last round, so they built up money throughout the game, and there was, say there was 30,000 in the pot. Then there was 2 contestants left, and there was 2 balls in front of them. They were golden, and under one it said split, and under the other it said still. If they both pick split, they split the money between them.
Can I stop you for a second, David? Sorry, we've got a news flash that's coming in. ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee.
You say it's a news flash, but I've just gone on the BBC website. I suppose it wouldn't be on there, would it, really? But
it says ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, Sunday, August the 21st. There's only 12 tickets left. So Jasper Carrot gets his golden balls out.
He gets his golden balls out. One's got split, one's got still. The 2 contestants have to pick one of those balls. They reveal them at the same time. If they both pick split, they split the money. If one of them hits split and the other one hits still, then the person that puts still gets all of the money. And if they both pick still, none of them get the money. Genius.
Well, that is genius, actually. All right, so I'm going to write that. So split, steal.
Right, there's 30,000 in the pot.
I'm going to play it with you.
Okay, I've got to get my balls out.
Okay.
Okay, we good?
Yep, my balls are out. They're always out when I do the show.
Good.
Right, so there's £30,000.
Right, so there's 2 balls in front of you.
Yeah.
One's got split written inside it.
Yes.
The other one's got still written inside it. You've got to pick which ball that you want.
Yes. Okay.
And not show it. We have a bit of a discussion. They leave 30 seconds to go, oh, no, I'm going to pick split.
Hang on a minute. I can do 30 seconds. Here we go. Right, here we go. This is 30 seconds. I'm going to pick steal.
Yeah, don't do that.
What?
Because we've both got you will pick split, right?
Trust me, if I steal it, I'll give you half of it.
But that's what someone done once and it ruined the show.
No, that's what I'm doing though. If you give it to me, I will steal it and I will give you half of it.
Okay, alright, fine. We'll do that.
Right, okay, so what are you gonna say?
What am I gonna say? Right, okay. So
show me your balls.
3, 2, 1.
Show me your balls.
Say whether you hit.
Okay. So we're playing 3, 2, 1 now.
Right. No, that's a different show. Stay with me. Right. So I'll count down 3, 2, 1, and you say either split or still.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Steal.
There you go. So none of us get the money.
Well, that's your fault. That's selfish on your part.
If you're going to try and steal from me, I'm going to.
I said
the credits are rolling.
I said I was going to give you some of the money.
Just to say goodbye. The credits are rolling.
I wasn't
dimmed.
Actually going to give you any of the money, but I did say that I would.
So that is brilliant. Go on YouTube, right, and search the last 5 minutes of Golden Balls, and then they all come up, and you can just spend a whole evening watching. They're amazing, right? Some people have said Bullseye.
Hang on.
Get that.
Hang on.
Welcome back to Golden Balls.
Yes.
After a run of big cash balls, Ibrahim and Nick now have £13,600 in front of them.
Bit of a buzz here.
We know
this is my jam.
But the golden question is, can they keep it?
He doesn't sound like Jasper Carrot anymore, does he?
No, he sounds a lot more serious, doesn't he? Not like when he was that policeman walking around saying all those silly things.
There's quite a lot of hum on this, but it's worth it.
Also lose both of you everything that you have.
I don't trust. I was going to say I don't trust Ibrahim, but then I realised that people might think I was being racist, which I was.
Yeah.
But that's fashionable now. Who's she?
Speaking of game shows,
who's she?
Who's who?
There's a lady who just got the balls out.
Oh, they hire ladies to get the balls out.
And they are the most.
Right, let's just jump forward a bit because this is boring. It goes on for 6 minutes.
Just have a look.
Right, anyway.
Someone said something very.
I think one's farted.
Trust me, 100%. I'm going to pick the steel ball.
Sorry, you're going to.
I'm going to choose.
That's what you did.
I want you to do split, and I promise you that I will split the money with you.
Well, after you've took the steel.
Yeah.
You're going to take steel.
Yeah.
I'm going to take split.
Yeah.
So you take the money.
And I will split it with you.
After the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
They're
what
loving that.
This guy's good. This is what I would do.
Exactly. It ruined the show. I mean, it destroyed the show, but that was a good ending.
Let's see what happens. Did he do it?
A man who doesn't keep...
Hang on.
And I do...
Hang on, here we go.
Now, please. Choose a ball.
They've chosen their balls.
Chosen their balls.
I wonder if he's going to do it.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go with you.
Okay.
I'm going to go with
I promise you I will split it.
You cannot change your balls now.
Pension.
This is actually brilliant.
Split
I know.
or steal. Yes! Congrats!
They both pick split. See?
That's giving me a bit of a rush.
Genius.
What about Big Break?
Big Break. Oh, that was a good shout. That was a good shout. Because wasn't it they had to do a trick shot at the end?
No.
No.
Oh, they did have to do a trick shot at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that was it.
But actually, so Bullseye was best. 101. No, what was the... No, Bullseye was... The Bullseye was... What was the end of Bullseye?
Yeah, wasn't it you had to hit a certain score with 6 darts or something?
You had to get 101 or more with only 6 arrows.
Right, and that, again...
It's genius.
It's a very good shout. It's
genius.
A very, very good
It's
shout.
so simple.
Some people were saying Crystal Maze, not for me. It was just a guy flailing around on a fan.
That's not even a game show. That doesn't count.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it not a game show?
Because it's the Crystal Mazes. You're just in like these big pods. You used to get. You remember you used to get Crystal Mazes at bowling alleys?
No.
Do you not remember that?
No.
In the 90s, you used to get like mini Crystal Mazes in bowling alleys.
That sounds amazing.
Well, no, it wasn't really. You had to do something, and then you'd go in the thing and collect the silver tokens.
That sounds amazing. You're saying no, it wasn't really, and then saying more amazing stuff.
Well, no, but that was just for like boozy nights out. No. Crystal Maze wasn't a game show.
Right. Well, what about Gladiators? Does that count?
No, you might as well say Krypton Factor.
Krypton Factor. What was the final to that?
It was that stupid quickfire quiz, which actually was brilliant. And they were shot in profile, and you could see the 4 faces in profile.
Okay, I've got one for you. What was the one?
Yes.
Where someone was standing in front of a pyramid of boxes with keys?
That was Des O'Connor, wasn't it?
That was Des O'Connor, yeah. What show was that from?
Well, we'll find out, Elmo, if there's some sad sack who's listening to us now. Guys, there's only 4 tickets left for the event. If you want it, ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee. There are only 4 tickets left. Well, there was an hour of radio that was unpredictable and unexpected. 600 people watching us on Periscope. It's almost like we're popular.
Talk Radio.
Right, 0844 499 1000. I don't mind doing the best last game in British game shows. I don't mind doing that. It's on the edge, but I think it's kind of got me thinking a little bit. We can do that. Anything else you fancy as well, of course. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Let's have the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone past with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Yes, Daniel.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Daniel, why are you listening to Sit On My Face by the Monty Python team?
It was next on the radio.
What radio?
The other radio.
What other radio? What other...
Should I turn over the channel?
What channel is playing Sit On My Face by Monty Python?
The other channel. You know, this is... Oh, yeah.
Robbie Williams and Candy. She's got a hurricane in the back of her throat.
It's the best.
Yes. Any chance, Daniel?
Yes?
You could turn the other radio station off and talk to me?
We could play this one.
See, that's not radio, that's CD.
Who's got a CD out?
I have.
And it's great.
Yeah, but that's not it.
Sorry.
Not a problem, Daniel. I have got a CD out. While we're selling stuff, why the hell not? Go to gofasterstripe.com/Iain Lee. £6 plus postage and packing. Thank you. Apparently that the evening is sold out now. We have sold out.
How much was it? £6?
Yes.
That is a bargain, man.
Thanks, man.
I got 3 laughs from that, so that's £2 a laugh?
£2 a laugh. You can't say... Hang on a minute. Where did you get that third laugh from? There was only 2 in there.
No extras.
Oh.
Anyway.
Hey.
I stole this act off Peter Kay.
Well, thanks for calling, Daniel. Tutty bye. 0844 499 1000 is the phone number. Chris is on the other line. Yes, Chris.
Extraordinary,
isn't it?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Do you know what? I'm worn out after that first hour. We'll get Brendon on again, because I had to rush Brendon, because with Danny kind of got in touch quickly, but we'll get Brendon Burns on again, because he was...
Brendon Burns, was that? I missed that. I heard
Brendon,
Danny. But,
what a start to the show. Brendon Burns on, then we had to move him a bit so we get Danny Baker on, and then we had a bloke called Elmo talking about the adventure, not the adventure game, let's go to the spiritual zone. What, Crystal Maze. Thank you. Crystal Maze. Yeah. Crystal Maze.
I don't want to bring the mood of the show down or something, but I've had a funny old day and I just wanted to chat about it, if that was all right.
Please do, buddy.
Went into hospital with my wife today for the birth of our second.
Yeah.
And we had a little boy, but it all went a bit pear-shaped, and he wound up in... Sorry. And he wound up in the special care unit.
Oh, blimey.
Having a lot of problems breathing.
Yeah.
And, it's just been a funny old day. I've never felt the mood in the room change so rapidly.
How is he now?
He's still in special care. He's on oxygen. He's stable.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
But yeah. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long he's going to be there for. And
how are you doing? Or is that a stupid question?
Yeah, it's a stupid question.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, I'm all right. It's just I don't know. It's just weird, you know. I thought this, having been through it once before and not had any problems, to go through a day where you anticipated high spirits and celebrations and stuff, and we had to wait had to wait about 3 hours before we even got to see him. So, and obviously we haven't held him yet because he's thing and stuff.
What's his name?
His name is Callum Brodie.
There we go. Well, he's got a solid name. He's got an excellent name. It has to be said. And have you gone back home now?
Yeah, I'm at home.
That I would imagine is kind of tough. And your missus is still in the hospital, is she?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you got anyone to talk to? Have you got friends or family around you?
We've got her family live. Her parents live locally.
Yeah. But have you got anyone?
Well, my parents will be coming down tomorrow, and I think they'll sort of stick around with me for a bit.
Is that a good or a bad thing? Because I know sometimes when around newborns, parents can be a little bit intrusive. They mean well, grandparents. They mean well, but they can sometimes get in the way a little bit, can't they? Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I can't tell you how many times I would text my wife's mother, and tell her, I will, I would end each text with, I'll keep you updated, I'll keep you posted, variations on that, and then she would, for some reason, feel the need to then text back and go, please keep texting me. I'm like, I just told you I'm gonna, and I nearly lost it.
Oh, and you might lose it. Did you lose it with the first one? Because I know that I did with my mother-in-law, and it was fine. And because she was interfering and getting in the way of things that I wanted to do as a dad, and we didn't have like massive arguments, but I snapped at her and she snapped at me, and we apologised. And it's hard work at the best of times, isn't it?
Yeah. There's been the odd moment here and there, but
but it all comes from a place of love, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
How old's you say this is your second? Have you got a boy or a girl? First child.
The first one's little girl, Jessica.
And how old?
She's just over 2.5.
Oh, so she's aware of what's going on, and she's excited about the little brother and stuff.
Yeah, but I had to sort of try and having explained to her what was happening today, and then obviously that's all gone kind of out the window.
Yeah.
And then when I went and picked her up from nursery and brought her in, I had to kind of explain it all again to her and try to explain to her, your baby brother's a bit poorly, and and all this stuff, and trying to get her to understand and that. But I think she seemed to handle it pretty well, and she was. It was quite funny actually, because he was lying there blowing spit bubbles for some strange reason, and Jessica was quite impressed with this and decided that she was going to blow them too.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
They will. My boys are 2 years, almost 2 years and a week apart in age, and I think that kind of 2 to 3 years is the perfect age. Me and my sister were 3 years. It's the perfect age for them to kind of get on and not think too much about, my younger brother's annoying me, or my older, my youngest or my older sister's, ignoring me and stuff. I think it's a good age for them to be friends as well as siblings.
That was our kind. It's a very planned gap. So that's our thinking as well. But you never know, do you? It's all about the temperament and the personality of the kids.
They could hate each other. For what it's worth, I got David on Twitter, who is the gentleman who called in and started talking about Crystal Maze. He says, my little boy went straight into special care. The staff in those places are utterly incredible, and I know that every case is different and stuff. But what are they saying? They're saying he's going to be all right.
Basically, the situation is that my wife's type 1 diabetic. I'm legally, part of the marriage agreement was I legally have to state that, because she doesn't like being labelled a potential type 2 diabetic.
Right, okay, yeah.
She gets very upset about that.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a type 1 diabetic, so Callum is early. He's about 4 weeks early.
Yeah.
So last week he went into hospital. She went into hospital to have steroid injections to boost the development of his lungs. That hasn't worked, and that's why he's having problems breathing. His lungs aren't developed enough, so he needs the oxygen to help him. So, but it's such a weird situation, because initially, sorry.
Hey, don't apologise, man. Don't apologise at all. You're having the roller coaster of emotions today. You know, the massive high and the incredible low.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where, to be honest, I didn't know, and no one was really making it very clear to me how serious this was. Do you know what I mean? We sat there whilst they took him out and they continued to finish off the C-section on my wife. We're sat there not knowing what to say to each other, and not knowing is our little boy dying?
Yeah.
You know, is he going to die? Do you know what I mean? It's very, very difficult, and I'm sure I shall be looking back in this in hopefully 24, 48 hours and thinking, oh God, I got myself into a state over nothing. This is no big deal, but you know.
So it's not over nothing. It's your little boy, and he's just popped out, and he's early, and he's weak, and you want to hold him and do all the things that Mum and Dad want to do. I wish you all the very best of luck, Chris. You know, as a dad of two boys, and you're right though. I suspect in 2 years' time you'll be you little sod, stop doing that.
I'm already thinking that now.
Yeah, well, exactly. He's causing trouble from day one. So just imagine what it's going to be like in 2, 3, 4 years' time.
Yeah, it's not a good start.
Chris, give us a call and keep us updated if you want. I know that I would like to know, and there's a lot of people on Twitter that would like to know, but also I'm aware that it's a really private thing and you may not want to share. But there are a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of listeners who are sending you a lot of love right now.
Oh, thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks for calling, mate. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. And there you go. Do you know what I mean? I had a little little catch in the back of my throat there, and I was talking on Twitter about clunky gear changes, and that was the perfect example of it. Flippin' heck. 0844 499 1000. Alan, come to you in a second. Nearly 850 people watching on Periscope. How did that happen? What is Periscope? Well, it's another way you can interact, kind of, more listen and watch the show. Basically, I film the show on my telephone. I stream it live on my phone over in the corner there. And if you go to periscope.tv/Iain Lee, IAINLEE, you get to watch the show and you get to talk to people, and there's some lovely people and there's some rude people on there, and I come and chat to you during the break, and I do comic asides as well. I perform for you like the monkey I am. But the best way to get involved with the show is to give us a call. And as you've heard, anything goes. Anything goes on this show. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Did I say that right? It did, didn't I? As I said it, I thought I'd said the old phone number for the old place. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. And also, just to flag up that we've stopped doing straight to air after midnight. Caddick!
Hip, hip, hip!
Hip, hip, hip!
That last call's made me feel really sad.
Yeah, it was very sad, but, they can work miracles in those hospitals.
I don't know with what happened to me mum and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Your mum, they fixed your mum. They told me my mum was dying and they couldn't work out what was wrong with her. Then they fixed her. So they can do absolute miracles. But of course, it's easy to say that, a couple of months down the line. When you're there, when you're in the middle of it, it's bloody horrible. Bloody horrible.
The baby's okay, that's
I've got a good feeling. I've got a very good feeling. But anyway, what have you got for us, Caddick? We're going to do a clunky gear change, and that's why I love it so much.
Classic game shows.
Well, when you say it like that, it does sound a little bit rubbish, doesn't it? No, let's change it to the best final game of British game shows.
For me, it would be the Golden Shot.
You don't remember the Golden Shot?
I do.
You don't remember the Golden Shot?
I've seen a clip of it on YouTube.
Well, that's not the same as remembering it. I've seen clips of it on YouTube, but it doesn't mean I remember. I remember the clip of it on YouTube, but I don't remember it. I don't know what day of the week it went out. What day of the week?
Sunday.
What time?
Around tea time.
Around.
Tom Monkhouse, Norman Vaughan, Charlie Williams, and Jackie Ray.
There we go. All right, fine. In that case, you do You do remember it. Well done. But what was the... So the final game was Bernie the Bolt, wasn't it? With the arrow.
Yeah.
And they had to control the arrow. Hey, do you remember the one? And we are doing slightly, do you remember old TV? But do you know what? What was the one with John Leslie set in... Scavenger. It was set in space, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he was like a stormtrooper or something.
I think it was after he left Blue Peter.
It was after he left Blue Peter. It was before he hooked up with the beautiful Abby Titmuss. And before the shenanigans, and it was set in space, but I don't remember what they had to do.
I think they had to move one for rubbish.
We hit 900 on Periscope. That's a world record.
Good evening to all the Periscopers.
Oh, Gallon Caddick's got a little chubby going.
What?
Got a little chubby?
I'm not chubby.
No, have you got a little chubby?
No.
Okay. You got a big chubby?
That's easy for you to say.
Yes. I think that Bernie the Bolt on the Golden Shot was fixed.
Because every year they had a different Bernie.
Well, did they? But they had to be... They were actually called Bernie, though. That was the thing.
They had to be called Bernie, but every year it was a different person who was Bernie the Bolt.
Yeah, but that person was legally called... Their name was Bernie.
No, it was actually a different name, but
No.
the TV says they had to be known as Bernie.
No. They were... But they had... To get the job, they had to be called Bernie.
Well, I remember one called Derek.
No, you don't.
He had blonde hair.
Oh, you never saw Bernie the Bolt?
Well, Bernie the Bolt also when Charlie Williams was in presenting.
Interactive game shows... Was it... Because it was the person at home that got to do it, didn't they?
Who, on the phone?
Yeah. So, interactive game shows where people phoned up and took part. Can you think of any others?
Well, there was an obscure Channel 4 game show called Wanted.
Oh, no, that had the Scottish fella in a helicopter, didn't it? No.
That was Interceptor.
The Interceptor. I'm the Interceptor. I don't know why I'm doing it sound like a French Liam Neeson. Hey, give me back my daughter.
I was referring to an old obscure Channel 4 game show with Wade Coates, who used to be at MTV.
Oh, that was on recently, though, wasn't it? Where people had to hide somewhere in the country.
I think it was on around 1994.
Oh, well, that was years ago.
Like I said, it was an obscure Channel 4 game.
Oh, I cut Alan off. I'm the Interceptor. I am the Interceptor. I am the Interceptor. Yes, Tony.
Oh, hello, Ian. Yeah, I'd like to take you to task about
yes
the program that you mentioned earlier, the Crystal Maze. You know, which I thought was scintillating, but
it was good. It was good, but it wasn't a game show.
No, well, I'm not worried. I'm not really talking about or referring to the game show part of it. But what made it brilliant for me was Richard O'Brien and the way he sort of treated his contestants.
Yes.
Yeah, and no, that's to my mind is what makes a show.
I preferred it when it was Tenpole Tudor.
Oh right, yeah.
I liked him. Do you remember? Do you remember the band he was in?
No.
Tenpole Tudor. Do you remember the song they did?
No, I didn't know that.
To Rye,
yeah.
Over the hills with the swords of 1,000 men.
Right, yeah. I think that game show you were trying to think of the name of with the pyramid of boxes was Take Your Pick.
Take Your Pick. There you go, you see, that was it. Yes, Greg's on the line. Evening, Greg.
Hello, Ian.
Hip, hip, hip!
Oh, indeed, hip and dislocated hips and everything.
There are 967 people watching us on Periscope.
It's gone bonkers, hasn't it?
This is a world record. Now, I don't know if outside a sex scandal has leaked about me. I don't know if something like that has happened. I don't know if Steve Allen has told the truth about our affair, and that I'm in this studio. And I'm in a protected bubble, so I don't know the chaos that's going on out there, or whether it's just people want to listen. They can't want to listen to this.
Have you quit as the host of Top Gear or something? You were given a job you didn't know and you've quit.
Oh, everybody's flipping quitting at the moment.
Yeah.
Everybody's quitting.
Don't you quit?
I nearly said something rude then. I nearly said something completely vulgar involving, well, I can't even say what it involved.
What did you nearly say, Ian?
I dumped.
Yeah.
You heard that on Periscope. One more and we'll get to 1,000. We're on 1,000. Boom, we've got 1,000 people. 1,000 people on Periscope, and I've just used the dump button. Did that dump work? Thank goodness for that, because my red light hasn't come up. Anyway, Greg, what would you like to say?
Well, it's the first time I've called because I'm a bit shy, really. But, you know, I love you and I love game shows, and the two together, wham, I'm in there. And your previous caller was talking about the Golden Shot.
Yes.
There's a little story about Ant and Dec when they did a thing called Game Show Marathon.
Oh, yes, and that ended up with... No, didn't that end up with Vernon Kay hosting Family
Kay
Fortunes?
did it afterwards, yeah.
Yes, yeah, because they rebooted all the old game shows.
All the old game shows did those, and Golden Shot was one of them.
Yeah.
And they did it live, because the nature of the game, they have to do it live. But one thing they didn't think about, and that was the end game.
Yes.
Because in the old days, when it was just terrestrial television and analog and all that sort of thing, it was live. You saw it at that very second.
Yes.
But when it's broadcast on Sky and stuff like that, there's like a 3 or 4 second delay.
Oh, flipping heck.
So it comes to the end game, she's got 30 seconds to hit the target.
Yeah.
And she was saying up a bit. And Bernie was hearing it probably 3 or 4, hang on, would it be early or late? But
she said it, he heard it, a week later.
Yeah. And she'd say stop, and it'd be up on the, well, not up on the ceiling, but way off target, and left a bit. And it was just chaos, and that's something that they didn't think about.
Well, that will learn them. I'm reminded of this conversation, and we're dwelling slightly in old TV territory, but I don't mind it, actually. I'm quite enjoying this, so I'll sort of bend a rule a bit. I am reminded of what a consummate game show host Mr. Paul Daniels was. Oh, come on. Every second counts.
Yeah.
Did he do one called Odd One Out as well?
That was his first one, yeah.
And then he had another one. There was another one, I'm sure, a third one.
Wipeout.
That was brilliant!
Yeah, and that was done by Bob Monkhouse, God bless him, later.
Yeah. It was good. And I do miss the days. I know we live in a modern society, but I do miss the days of Bruce Forsyth calling on an attractive woman in a short dress just so she could bring on the cards. He would call them his dolly dealer, and then he'd ask her to do a spin so we could all see what she was wearing.
Can't do that anymore, can you?
What was the...
It's a cat now.
It's all...
There was a spin. There was a twirl.
She's telling me to spin on it. What was the weird one with, Tarrant? And where the men would get pushed into a swimming pool.
Man oh man.
That was it. Man oh man. That was, I mean, that was quite... that was a bit rapey, wasn't it? It was quite horrible.
It was strange having a male host of that, because you had a male host sort of leering over the men, but you know Chris Tarrant's straight, and it was strange. It was bizarre.
The best one of those dating game shows was Davina McCall, God's Gift.
Oh, Late at Night.
Yeah, Late at Night. That was blinding.
Do you know who was a contestant on that?
I do. Don't tell me. I do know who was I do know who was a contestant on that.
Tell me, Ian. Tell me.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Just while you're thinking.
Yes.
Do you know what the best quiz show ever was? And I've got to say this.
Blockbusters.
No.
Mental.
Not a traditional quiz show, but the best quiz ever on television was a thing called Quizmania.
Oh, dang, you did that, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but, you know,
shut up, you
that's
muppet.
not the point, is it?
I don't know. Who was on God's Gift?
It was Paddy McGuinness.
Oh, God. Greg, nice to talk to you, mate.
Oh, bye.
Ta-ta. 0844 499 1000. Pablo, stay there. Come to you after this. 0844 499 1000. By the way, all of the people who are watching us on Periscope, over 1,000 people now, you're more than welcome to call in. We call you back, 0844 499 1000. If you're abroad, I don't know, you work it out. We'll call you back. And there's no straight to air after midnight, so we're going to keep on, you ring and calls and stuff like that, and that's how it works. Pablo's on the line. Good evening, Pablo.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Oh, yes, I was mainly calling, apparently I may have called in on Friday slightly inebriated.
Now, we're getting a lot of men phoning up, apologising for their drunk phone calls. What did you do on Friday that was so boozy-woozy?
Well, I was playing poker, and I think I called up. I had quite a husky voice at the time, if I remember correctly.
And you missed your train home or your bus home, didn't you?
I had to walk back, yeah.
Yeah, did you walk all the way back?
Well, to be honest, I just drunkenly listened to my music delivery device and sang songs.
I've not been drunk for nearly 12 years.
Oh, there's a very rare occurrence for myself as well. It's a few and far between.
I haven't been drunk for 9 months.
Yeah,
11 years, 9 months and 3 weeks, something like that. I can barely remember staggering home drunk, and there was a lot of staggering home drunk. But I kind of miss those days. They sound like fun, but I'm too old for that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way. It's one of those things where it's kind of like I don't like the idea before and after, but during's quite fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still managed to, even being an hour late walking about and all that, I still managed to find a segue along to get myself a pizza of some kind. It'd all been cleared away by the morning. But
Did you sit down and have a little rest or a little lie down? I always remember, on roundabouts or little grass verges, just staggering home at 2 a.m. and thinking, "Oh, I'll just have a little lie down. I'll just have a little rest."
No, that path leads to ruin. That's how you get woken up by a street cleaner at whatever time in the morning, or you get nudged by a destitute chap saying, "Are you all right?" And you generally know that you've potentially gone down there.
These things happen. Anyway, what have you got for us this evening?
Well, mainly, it was just in regards to game shows and best final rounds.
Yeah.
Just purely for kind of...
This may be... Elmo came up with this, right? And I thought, this is rubbish, right? But then I saw it was getting a lot... I'm a canny businessman, Pablo.
You keep your eye on that Twitter.
Keep my eye on the Twitter. I saw he was getting a lot of traffic on that, and I thought, right...
Jump on that.
Go on.
Oh, no, sorry, you just thought you got to jump on that.
And I thought I'm going to jump on that. But I'm not going to nick it, because I've already been accused of being a plagiarist, and hopefully we've made peace with those people. I swear from the bottom of my heart I did not take those clips from there at all. I took one, but because I couldn't find it elsewhere, and I knew about it. So I don't want any hard feelings, because I'm a peace-loving man. But, so this is why I got him to phone up. And now look at this. We've got 1,100 people watching this on Periscope. We've had, call after call after call, and now we've got you on the line, Pablo. This is actual gold.
Oh, right, okay. I feel like I should sing a song or something.
Yes.
I was just thinking purely in regards to the last round thing.
Yes.
Because you've got, I find with game shows, you've got the added bonus of it being a good round.
Yeah.
But then also, if it adds in the fact of general people being on quiz shows being quite stupid, it really does.
Yes.
Cement that. So I think, just suddenly had a mind blank. Catchphrase.
Oh, see what you see. My best one on catchphrase, right, was it was some boulders falling from the sky. No, there were some boulders on the floor, and there were some boulders up a hill, and the boulders on the floor had £8.62 written on it, and an arrow pointing to it. Oh, come on.
£8.62. If this is in some way some sort of reference to a math thing, I mean...
No. It could be any number. It was like £10, it said. It doesn't matter what the number was, but it had a £10 on there, and it was some boulders on the ground, and some boulders high up, and the ones on the ground had a £10 on it and an arrow pointing to it. Kath, have you got this? Oh, come on, say what you hear. Say what you hear. Catchphrase on the radio. I bags it.
Well, technically, I suppose I want at least a 10% commission.
Well, no. You got get the answer right, buddy, and you can get 50%.
Boulder.
It's a boulder with £10 on it.
Is the boulder relevant, or is it just that it's a rock?
The bolt.
Ooh.
Boyley's got it. You got 30 seconds.
You see, now I've made a mockery of people being stupid on game shows, and now I've become what I've mocked.
Yes.
I've been hoisted by my own petard.
Yep, we're going to be mocking you, Pablo, and Catherine's got it. Catherine's got it.
10 bowling for soup.
There's a boulder on the ground. With £10 on it.
Cricket. Bowling Green.
Everybody on Twitter's got it. Bowling Green.
Well, money is often green. It's a kind of a phrase. It's a thing.
Well, the phrase that the person said, and I always remember it, and you won't get it because you don't know what the answer is. But the phrase the person said was, "Is it button up?" But you don't know what the answer is, so you'll never get it. Oh, now I get the disappointment of it dropping rapidly down to 150, which is what it's doing. Goodbye, Periscopers.
What have I done? I feel a horrible sense of responsibility here.
Yes, you do, Pablo. It's your fault. 0844 499 1000. It's easy, right? Isn't it? It's a boulder on the ground, and there's a boulder on the top, but the one on the ground has got £10 written on it and an arrow pointing to it. It's easy. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give it. Oh, Kath's been on Murdoch. Kath, you can come and join us. Come and join us in the studio. Apparently, loads of other people have been doing catchphrase on the radio, so we'll nix that idea. That's why we lost 1,000 viewers instantly. We were up to 1,100 viewers.
What went on?
On Periscope? I don't know.
Someone said you were getting naked or something.
Something like that happened. But they've all buggered off now. Where are you? You're over there. We go. You've been unmurdocked. So, well, that was an exciting first hour and 42 minutes of the show.
Very.
Now, here's the thing. Here's what I've got beef with you about.
Oh, today.
Today's beef. Today, the beef du jour is, the French say that we smell of roast beef, don't they?
Yes.
But we don't.
Call us les roast beef.
Is that microphone working?
Not really.
No. Try that one.
Does it work better that one? No, it doesn't, does it?
No, try that one. Try the middle one, because it sounds... Oh, dear. There we go.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
It's a bit wobbly, though. Hang on.
Oh.
I don't like it. Why is this... Right.
You in your old age. Move this out of the way a little bit. There
okay.
Right.
Yeah, what about them?
So, here's the thing. 0844 499 1000, by the way, is the telephone number. There's no straight to air after midnight, so if you don't call, we just sit here and talk and I'll go through the papers. And if push comes to shove, I'll read out from my Jerry Lewis book. I'm watching this absolutely terrible Jerry Lewis film.
Mm-hmm. How long's it taken you so far?
Oh, a couple of days. I remember watching it as a kid and finding it funny, right? It's weird when you're a kid, because you find stuff funny that isn't... When we were kids growing up, I mean, I remember when there was only 3 channels.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember 3 channels, or do you...
Yeah, I remember 4 starting.
I remember 4 starting, being very, very excited. We used to watch the test transmissions. It's like, well, the test transmission's going to be in 20 minutes, and we turn it on 20 minutes
and
before.
it was a bit rude, wasn't it?
It was a little bit rude. But you kind of, as a 0844 499 1000, you would kind of make do with whatever was on.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was a film on that wasn't very good, that was probably all that was on.
My kids now can't grasp the concept of
no,
we're watching this because it's on.
Yeah.
You know, they think that everything's on demand now.
Oh, it's we've been going to. I've been taking my boys into that sex shop.
Yeah.
To
learn them early. Eh?
Well, exactly. Computer exchange. It's pronounced sex, apparently. To buy DVDs, because you can get DVDs for 50p in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stuff that I would consider good, that everybody... I bought Gremlins for 50p.
Is that... Don't they swear a bit in that?
It's all right. IMDb, it tells you, it gives you a parent guidance. There's a couple of S's in there.
Because I wanted to show my kids the Goonies.
Goonies.
Well, that's very sweary. I didn't
Goonies
realise.
quite sweary, yeah.
Maybe me watching it as a kid, it just went over my head because I didn't recognise what the words were, because I don't remember it being rude.
I bought the boys CD players today. They've got CD players and cassette. I make sure they've got cassettes in, but unfortunately the cassette doesn't record, which is a little bit annoying. Not the end of the world. Well, it is annoying.
No, that's the whole point.
How are they going to make tapes for their Walkman? And it's got a radio. 0844 499 1000. It's got a radio on it as well.
Actually, that's the whole point of a cassette, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit disappointing, actually, now I think about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They didn't even know what cassettes were. They were amazed by, what's a cassette? And I went and, I've got loads, of course, because I'm an old fart. And I went and gave them a Monkeys cassette. Here's the thing, right? So we turned it on, and I said, look, this has got the radio on it. Let's flick around with the radio first, because I want them to, it's only FM, so they won't be listening to this, which is good. And the first station we went to, they're playing Last Train to Fartsville by the Monkeys.
Wow.
Now that is...
uncanny.
That's uncanny.
But when I was a kid, sometimes I'd be thinking of a song, and the song would come on.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, it's got magic.
Microtubules. That's what that is.
I've got massive microtubules.
It's the microtubules in the back of your neck. So they were playing with that, and the youngest could not fathom out a cassette. So I showed him how to put the cassette in, and he'd press play, and he'd listen to it, and then he would take it out, and he'd say, he then would put it in the wrong way, and it wouldn't play. And I'd say, right, take it out, turn it round. No, that's upside down. Turn it back. Right, now turn it round. And so he had it all cut, so he'd turn it round like sort of, he'd do that with it. So it was all weird and twisted. He couldn't work out how to do it.
You wait till it goes haywire and you fix it with a pencil. That will blow his tiny mind.
Beautiful. And they've got a couple of CDs each. The youngest one's got some stories. The oldest one's got some Beach Boys. Gave the youngest one the first Bare Naked Ladies album as well. So he's listening to $1 Million. We had a little party in his room. And he's going, so when can I play this? I said, whenever you want. It's in your bedroom now. They've both got one in each bedroom.
It's his own business.
You play, as long as, you're old enough now, you can just go off into your bedrooms and leave me and your mum alone. Get on and have fun and stop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if it was Coronation Street, come down with a different head on.
Exactly, you see. So, we were doing that, but we were talking about DVDs for some reason, and I simply cannot remember.
You went in sex. Got some DVDs.
Can't remember why. Oh, this is my beef with you.
Oh, right, yeah, back to the beef.
0844 499 1000, by the way. Do feel free to call in at any moment. We had 1,100 people watching. That was weird. Then they all buggered off at once.
They must have thought you were doing something rude.
They must have done. But then they all just disappeared at once. Beef with you.
Go on.
Yesterday on the show...
Show me Le Boeuf.
It's interesting that you've come back and Ed hasn't, after being Murdoch'd. Well, we voted Ed and his ilk out of the country, and it turns out that you have actually got a contract, and so Rupert Murdoch is going to have to go and swing.
I'm northern, not foreign.
Yesterday's production team of Emma and the Dishy David,
yeah,
the producer,
why did you get rid of him?
did not pour scorn on me or mock me when I told them what I'd bought for myself and for my children. And when I told you today, you did a derisory snort.
What was it this time? Go on.
You went,
well, one, I know you better.
Yeah.
Two, I'm quite sarcastic.
Get this, Russ, right? I told Kath... You there, Russ?
Hello.
Hello, Russ. I told Kath, right, what I'd bought. I told Dishy David yesterday, who's producing yesterday's show, what I bought. And they went, oh, yeah, fair play, it sounds cool. I told Kath today...
He was being polite.
And she gave a derisory snort. She went, like that.
Go on.
I'll tell Russ, and let's see what Russ does.
I can't even remember what it was.
It was that. I bought for myself and my boys, Russ, on Blu-ray, the entire Batman television series.
Oh, yeah.
I can get that. I mean, I wasn't a massive fan of it, but...
Let me make the deal a little bit sweeter. The entire 4 seasons of Batman, on Blu-ray, 32 quid.
Holy cheese balls, Batman.
Shut up.
That's not bad.
32 quid, that is a steal. Yes, there is, okay, the packaging is in Italian. That's true.
Il Batman.
Il Batman. E Robin. But but the menus and everything and the episodes, I think once you adjust the menus, you can play the episodes in English, or at the very least with English subtitles.
You're hoping.
So, 32 quid,
Are you
Russ.
sure it's Batman and not some sort of weird porno?
Batamino.
What did your lads think of it?
It's not arrived yet. It's going to come hopefully in the next couple of days.
Of course it is.
So I've got my fingers crossed.
It's not quite on a par with the more recent Batmans, is it? In terms of
all the Batmen
effects and costumes.
I like the Christian Bale Batman. I don't like I never saw the Val Kilmer Batman.
Oh, I did.
And I never.
Did you see the George Clooney?
Hey, as Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Was he Batman?
He was the Batman.
Was he really?
Yeah. And so was Keaton.
Keaton was star of Multiplicity. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Listen, we shouldn't judge people by their looks, okay? We are better than that, all right? With that in mind, have you seen Charlie Dimmock recently? Have you seen Charlie Dimmock, Russ?
Oh, no. Yes, I have.
She really has.
She's got older. She's what happened.
Gone south.
Russ.
Oh, no, hang on a minute, Catherine. When we're not on air, you said, well, that's what happens if you don't wear a bra.
Well,
You see? That's worse than what he said.
She's a fine woman. But,
it's worse. That's worse than what he said. That's what happens if you don't wear a bra.
It is.
No, she's and I, you know.
She's sturdy, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Especially in her line of work.
In the slightest.
She needs to be able to pull a weed.
But Michelle Dewberry, now there's a different kettle of fish.
Who's Michelle Dewberry?
Nothing to do with gardening or bras.
Nothing to do with Michelle Dewberry. She does the paper review on Sky News.
Yeah, I've worked with her. She's I'm going to say a friend of mine, but I've worked with her once. Yep.
Seems a very nice lady. I actually bought.
She does seem like a very nice lady, Russ. Yes, that's a lovely turn of phrase. What you got for us, Russ?
I bought the entire box. Well, not so much a box set, but the collection of Wurzel Gummidge. So whether that's worse than Batman, I don't know.
Wurzel Gummidge.
I love it, mate. It took me back to my childhood.
When he put his handsome head on.
I'm going to go and put my shagging head on. Let me pull my head off.
He always frightened me a little bit because there was something of the Savile about him, wasn't there?
That's right, I'm going to go and put my doing this head on with the one with the tongue. There we go. Put my head in the barrel. That's it. And get me doing. Oh, my head's rolled away. Come back, it's me doing it, Ed. I'm feeling horny.
And she was horrible, wasn't she, Aunt Sally? It was just horrible to him all the time.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Then they did a series, as they did a lot of series in the 70s and 80s. When Britain had grown tired of them, they then decamped to Australia.
I've got it. Wurzel Down Under or something like
that. Let me put me down under it on, Aunt Sally. Be down there in a second. Go on, you start giving it a rub.
Give over Wurzel.
You start giving it a rub, Aunt Sally. You warm it up for me. You warm it up for Wurzel, and I'll get down there straight away, Aunt Sally. Not too fast, so I want to start a fire with the friction.
You've given that too much thought.
Yeah, well, you've got to. He was a scarecrow, wasn't he?
Yeah, and she was an old Aunt Sally from the fairground.
There we go, you see.
It was great.
At one point, didn't he fall in love with the masthead of a ship?
Yes. Yeah, that was Barbara Windsor.
He was good.
Was she called Salty Sal or something?
Yeah,
something like that.
He was good. What was his name? John Pertwee.
Yeah, he was all right.
I often see old women that look like John Pertwee. Quite often.
My mate's nan looked like John Pertwee.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about it, my nana used to look like him,
quite a few old women that look like John Pertwee. Not Charlie Dimmock, though.
I sat on my nana, who's my great-grandma's knee once.
Yes.
She must have been,
Just going to move the camera a bit.
She was old then.
Yeah.
And I was very young, and you know kids say what they see. I wasn't trying to be cheeky. I wasn't that kind of kid.
Yeah.
But I said, "Oh, Nana, you got whiskers." Oh. She called me all sorts.
Yeah, well, rightfully so.
But she did have whiskers.
Can I just say, Pablo came on, he just said, I came on to plug my podcast and I didn't, so I will plug it, foodtowatchfilmsby.com. That's a good title. Foodtowatchfilmsby.com.
Right.
If you were watching Wurzel Gummidge, Russ, what would your choice of snack be?
Choice of snack? Well, I'm a bit of a unfortunately...
There's only one answer to this, Russ. There's only one no.
Bit of a Christmas...
No.
Oh.
You'd have a food and a drink, very specific to watch Wurzel Gummidge.
Cup of tea and slice of cake.
Nice cup of tea and a slice of cake, Aunt Sally, and then I'll get down to pleasing you.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna start pleasuring Aunt Sally. Let me just get me labia head on.
What? Anyway, flipping heck.
I actually rang up about tech and stuff. Ian's taking us down this dark alley of...
It's on Sally's dark alley.
Oh, God.
You're on about letting your kids watch certain films with swearing in and that.
They're not watching that one.
No, it's not. We watched Deadpool the other night.
With
Have
the
you seen
kid?
it?
Oh, yeah, that is very naughty. How old are your kid boy's 14, isn't he?
He's just turned 15.
He'll love it. He'll love it, wouldn't he?
But the missus is like looking at me. You know, because in the past, when he was younger, like if anything fruity came on the telly or anything, it's like quick, change channel or something. You know what I mean? Just save the embarrassment for all of us.
Yeah.
There's these strippers on with the chest out, and I've just had enough because she was nudging me. I went, for crying out loud, it's a 15 certificate. He's 15.
That means he gets a badge at the end, surely.
He just kept a straight face. I felt sorry for him.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what I had to watch with my dad? Or rather, I was watching with my dad in the room. Have you seen Don't Look Now?
With Donald Sutherland
Oh
and Julie
my
Christie.
God, right.
That's old-fashioned sex, though.
That's proper mum and dad beardy sex,
Hairy,
right?
yeah, very hairy.
And it was, and it went on forever. And there's my dad rustling the newspaper in the corner, pretending he's not noticed and he doesn't feel just as uncomfortable as me. Me not knowing whether to look at him, not knowing whether I should be looking at the telly, maybe I should look away.
Beautiful.
It went on for ages. And ages. Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie's backsides going up and down like the cloud.
The only one I remember is when my mum took me to see Octopussy, and there was a romp in that, and it wasn't it wasn't
only a James
explicit.
Bond one.
Yeah, I know, but still you do that. You'll know this feeling, Russ. If you ever seen anything rude with like your mum or your nan or something when you were like 10, you just sort of tense. You just freeze. I think, I want this to end. I want this to
You
end.
get that hot feeling come over you.
Yes, you do, and it's not the fun hot feeling. It's a feeling of shame. Yes.
I was quite relaxed with my lad with letting him watch. I wouldn't let him watch sex stuff as such or
like
anything
porno.
No, you know what I mean. But I introduced him to the Phoenix Nights, and he must have only been about 8 or 9. He watched both series.
What? Even the girl with the firing the ping pong balls out of her nether regions.
Yeah, but you don't see it, do you?
So he might have thought she was firing them out of her mouth.
Exactly.
I've not seen Phoenix Nights.
It's funny.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to see. Russ, we're out of time, mate. Thanks for calling.
Can I just say?
Go on, fella.
I'm going to get stick on the group because I said I wasn't going to cut. I had a bad week last week, and I felt like I talked crap. That's why I was going to refrain from calling so much, but it's nothing against you or the show or anything.
Listen, man, it's all group. If you call in, we love your calls. If you don't call in because you don't feel up to it, it's fine. But talking crap is de rigueur here. That's what we encourage, Russ. So don't stop because of that.
And by the way, you weren't. So...
I can't remember now. Just
up yours.
When I come off the phone.
Russ, don't worry about it. It's good. Listen, it's good to have you back, mate. Take care. I've got to go because we're late for a break and I already missed about 4 in the first hour. 0844 499 1000. Bill, stay there. You'll be the first call after midnight.
Talk Radio.
Last hour of the show, dear listener. No more straight to air, at least not for the moment anyway. So, usual, really. I'll just sit here chatting and you can call in and join in any time you want. Bill's up next, but you can be after Bill if you dial 0844 499 1000. We call you back. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio. Here's the news.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
do in this life she's under? Tell me, Magdalena, what do you see in the depths of your night? Do you see your long lost father? Does he hold you in the hands you remember as a child? But now everything lost will be recovered when we drift into the arms of the undiscovered. And I don't know if I'd ever love any other. Have as much as I do in this life she's under. Me and Magdalena, always leaving early and sleeping late. Secluded in a canyon, lost within a turn of fate. And I don't know if I'd ever love any other. Half as much as I do in this life she's under. And I don't know if I'd ever love any other. Half as much as I do in this life she's under.
The alternate version of Me and Magdalena, and I didn't like it the first time I heard it, but it's growing
I like
on me.
it.
Yeah, it's growing
Do
on
you want the
me.
big light off now, or what?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't.
You express that through the medium of a chord.
Oh, yes, 08444 499 1000. So there's no straight to air. We kind of got rid of it for, well, I'm saying for July, but it's, my house, my rules, I could change it at a moment's notice.
And you will.
Someone on Digital Spy.
Oh, I don't look at that anymore.
No, they're really nice about me. I'm really lucky on there, because for those who don't know, it's a forum where people go and talk about radio. And when I was at LBC, it was there's some really poisonous arses on there. Gurney Slade was one. Morning, everybody! But Gurney Slade would write something really nasty about me, and then write, morning, everybody! What an arse.
It invigorated him for the day.
I think it was a woman. I'm never sure. And the thread about us is generally quite,
Well-
it's generally quite nice. But then someone said, I can't believe he's getting rid of, straight to air. It's the only bit of the show I like. Sorry? It's the only bit. And then someone said, just when I was saying that Iain Lee show will always be an alternative, he goes and does a rant about Brexit. He's turning into Nick Abbott. First of all,
Thank you very much.
I dream of turning into Nick Abbott. Secondly, out of how long have we been on the air? April, May, June, for nearly 4 months we've been on the air. Out of the 4 months of radio shows, I've done 10 minutes on Brexit. That's not bad going compared to every other flipping radio station. So just, and also, I've got some of my favourite shows are John Holmes, James O'Brien, Nick Ferrari, you and yours on Radio 4, the Money I never like all of the programme. if I like all of the program makers are doing something wrong. They're making it too easy. You know, the best programs are bits where I don't like them. I'm not a massive fan of Mystery Hour on James O'Brien. It's a whole hour a week. I can listen to it, but I'm not a massive fan of it.
You recognise the fact that some people like it,
Yeah.
and it's not designed especially
Yeah.
for you, because
And-
that would be nuts.
And what I do is, if I'm in the mood, I listen to it. And if I'm not, I'll put you and yours on Radio 4. And if I'm not in the mood for that, I'll put a CD
Do you know
on.
what? You're explaining this for the small minority who don't get it.
0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Remind me to remind you of the homework you've got. But first of all, Bill's been waiting for ages. Good evening, Bill.
Evening, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Bill. What you got for us, boss?
I went to see Ruby Rax and David Hager.
Oh, hang on a second. Is this? Are you Bill Richards?
That's me.
It says here, Bill has tweeted us a warning.
I know.
It says, if lose signal, well, he's lost some vowels.
I'm sorry.
I do apologise. Apology accepted in advance, sir.
Yeah, Southwest Trains.
You went to see Ruby Wax and what, sorry?
David Haig, off of you.
Matt Haig.
Matt Haig.
Yeah, I got those tickets off of you.
Oh, you got those tickets off of me? You're that gentleman. I thought you couldn't go in the end.
Well, I kind of did, and I kind of hang around at the end.
So what, did you just go in for the last 5 minutes?
That's exactly what I did.
Oh, beautiful. Good for you. Well, I'm glad the tickets got used. Well done.
I've got David Haig's last book.
It's Matt Haig.
David Haig's he's an actor, isn't he?
He's something, isn't he? Who is David Haig now? William Haig is a politician.
Oh God, no. Yeah, not anymore.
Okay. No, so you stayed for the last 5 minutes and you bought merchandise. Perfect. The perfect audience.
I am. I'm the merchandise whore.
What books did you buy of his?
I've got Reasons to Stay Alive, which is brilliant.
Yep, the classic.
Which is a brilliant book. It's brilliant on Amazon. As you know, do you know how many times I've retweeted your over the last week your live CD?
But probably hundreds of times, because I know that I've annoyed a lot of people. I had some. Where are you, Bill?
It's on the train.
I'm currently going past Pimlico Southwest Trains.
Gosh,
Southwest Trains at the moment.
Sorry to hear that.
I apologise.
Well, I thank you for retweeting that. I appreciate it, and I'm going to calm down on my self-publicising at the moment.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Fine. Yeah, exactly.
But that book that Matt Haig has written is bloody brilliant, because I was really struggling a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that book has really sort of seen, it's not seen the light, but it's really shown us, and a couple of my friends, which is all good, has really shown what he can do, you know, CBT, all this kind of stuff has really shown us how we can see the future in our lives, really.
Do you know something,
Does that sound sad?
No,
not at all.
I think it's also really useful if you're living with someone who has depression, because it allows you to understand something that's really hard to get to, you know, and also what you can do and what you don't have to do for someone.
Well, it's like my mum at the moment. She's feeling really bad. You know, she's been divorced for good 10, 15 years. You know, my dad's a lovely man. But, you know, she's getting married in November, but she's still got the hang-ups and that kind of thing. I showed her that book, and she's gone, that's brilliant.
Wow.
And that's shown her how to... And she don't do Twitter, I'm not going to lie, but it's really shown her, you know... And I don't want her to do Twitter, because otherwise she'll see the crap that's on there. I'm sure, Iain, you know what's on there.
Yeah, we don't want our parents to touch the poison that we touch on a daily basis.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. Well, done. I'm glad your mum likes the book. It is, for those who missed it, Matt Haig is brilliant. He's a novelist. He writes brilliant adult books and books for young people. But he also wrote this book, Reasons to Stay Alive, which is his story of his kind of journey through depression and stuff. And it sounds boring, but it's brilliant.
If anybody wants to see David Haig at the National Theatre, he does well as well.
There we go.
Apologies about the cross-pollination.
Yes,
but,
never mind.
It works well.
We'll sell it. Hats off to all the Haigs. Bill, it's nice to talk to you, mate. I'm glad you got some use out of those tickets. Thank you very much indeed. 0844 499 1000. No straight to air anymore. I was reminded of something there, speaking to Bill, and it's gone. So, Film Ring is becoming two things, okay? Let's deal with the one that's happening on August the 21st. So this is on Sunday, August 21st, in a room above a pub. We're going to show scenes that were cut from Kung Fu Elliot. Hopefully, I'm hoping the directors are going to send me those. We're going to show They Killed My Cat, maybe a bit of the Stalker as well. I don't know how much. The thing is, there's such low. My copies haven't arrived yet, but I have got a hooky copy of They Killed My Cat on my computer, and I've seen bits of it. I mean, it's hard work, man. It's hard work to sit through that whole film. And then we're going to do a Q&A, technology willing, with at least Jarrett and maybe Matthew as well, if he's free, on Skype. So they'll be in Canada. They'll be able to see us, because I'll have my laptop facing the audience, and we should be able to see them by connecting it onto the TV. That's how it's going to work. 80 tickets, that's sold out. I've got 10 tickets for us, for like us and friends and stuff, and Emma and Rudd and Cornelius and Edith, if they want to come. But then I've got another 10 tickets that that we can sell, and I'll do that kind of nearer the time. I'll do that a little bit nearer the time. And if it works, if it's a successful evening, and it's an experiment to see if it works. If it's a successful evening, we'll discuss it on the night and afterwards. We're going to kind of make it a regular thing, maybe like once a month, once every 6 weeks and stuff like that. First time I've done a night at this venue. I know the room. I've performed there years and years ago, but I think it's a really nice place upstairs at the Angel Comedy. The one in Angel, not there's two pubs called the Camden
Head. Yeah,
there's one in Camden and there's one in the Angel. It's the one in the Angel.
Right.
But we'll release 10 more tickets to that. So that's happening. We might make that a monthly thing. But hashtag Film Ring is also part of this show. Sam, Luke and Jerry, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. And we're going to do it every couple of weeks-ish, 2 to 3 weeks. But I want to get quite a few things right. It's probably going to be documentaries, although I do think maybe there is something in doing kind of slightly kitsch films. I don't know. But I want to ensure as well that we can get a guest that's connected with the film. Either they're in the film or they made it or something like that. And we've got someone. So the next film we're watching, and this is for next Monday, next week, is The Impostor. It's The Impostor spelt E-R. There is an Impostor, which is a completely different film.
Right.
The Impostor. It's on YouTube. There are 2 versions of it on YouTube, one with Spanish subtitles, one without. So you can watch it for free. I'll tweet the link a bit later on. And it's this brilliant documentary. You've not seen it yet, have you?
No, I will.
I'll bring the DVD in.
Okay.
It's this brilliant documentary about this American family, and their 14-year-old boy goes missing. 3 years later, a man in Spain pretends to be the missing boy.
And that's not the spoiler.
No, that's not the spoiler. Oh, no. It's amazing. So we can talk about that next Monday. So your homework is to watch The Impostor by next Monday. I'll keep reminding you. And we've got a brilliant guest, absolutely brilliant guest, someone integral to the film. In the film, there is this really atypical, old-fashioned, portly private investigator. He's the kind of guy, he wears braces. Do you know what I mean? He's a big fella that wears braces. He's brilliant. He is brilliant. And his speciality is finding missing people. He's coming on the show. Charlie Parker is his name.
Because we did try for the guy, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that didn't go right.
He got arsey with me on Twitter, then blocked me. Called me a parasite. And we'll mention that as well. And Charlie's got some really interesting theories about the guy. And also really interesting theories about the kid that went missing, that is talked about. So he's coming on, genuinely really excited about that, and proper old-fashioned PI. So that's next Monday at 10 o'clock, right? That is your homework. Right, Jerry, Sam, Luke, stay there, come to you after this. Yes, Luke!
Hello!
Hip, 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 Luke!
Hip, hip, hip!
What have you got for us, boss?
Yeah, what it is, 'cause you're on about films.
How's the Puma?
Well, luckily, I haven't seen it lately.
Maybe because, Luke, it doesn't exist.
It does exist.
Does it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, like I told you before. Go on to that website.
What is the website? I'm going to go onto it now.
Leicestershire and Rutland Panther Watch.
Oh, flipping heck, mate. Leicestershire and Rutland
and Panther Watch.
Panther Watch. All right, let's have a little look. Here we go. Rutland and it's bigcats.org.
Yes.
Here we go. Rutland's and Leicester. Rutland. Oh, it looks like an old GeoCities website. Last updated the 29th of October, 2014. Last report. Look, the website doesn't say anything. It's the worst website ever. Right, I'm tweeting this because this is the worst website ever. Right. Look at this website. Right. So we can all have a little look at it. There's no evidence there. Latest report, October the 25th, 2014, near Colville, West Leicestershire, by security guard. Is that you?
Yes.
Hey! He's on the website that looks like it's a GeoCities, Kath. Look.
Oh. Oh, flipping heck.
But what? So tell me when you saw it.
Because we're at work.
Yeah.
What they do, because I had the Panther Watch come out, and they said what they do, they go round in a massive circle scavenging for food.
Yours is the only sighting of the panther.
Uncanny.
But people are too scared to report it.
Or it doesn't
exist. They don't want to look like Muppets like me.
Or it doesn't exist.
It does exist.
Does it?
Yeah.
But yours is the only sighting on the website.
Like I say, I ain't been on it for ages, but, you know, because I've been that busy trying to draw your drawings.
What, Kate Garraway's boob eyes? Lovely little boob
No
eyes.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
But as well, cause, I've had some family problems because
sorry to hear
your drawings are going to be a bit late.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Family comes first, of course.
I know. So it's just, and the reason why I phoned up, because you're into your films.
Yeah, I'm into my films.
I don't know if you've ever seen it before. It's called Clubbed.
What? Now, is it about nightclubs or about someone with a baton hitting people?
Or seals.
It's about, like...
Speaking of seals, did you see the video? Another one of those videos. Everyone's at it now. A girl busking... Kissed by a Rose in Manchester. Seal pops up.
Oh, they're all doing it now, aren't they?
They're all doing it now. There's one with Steve Tyler. Jimmy Somerville, Steve Tyler and Seal.
And always filmed in portrait.
Yeah, oh, God.
Turn your phone round!
Oh, turn your bloody phone round, because it means when it goes on TV, they have to do that funny frosting thing on the side. It annoys me. Luke, sorry.
Yeah, because the film, it's called Clubbed.
Yes.
And I got it off a website.
Oh, yeah.
I only got it for £5 on Blu-ray, and I tell you what, I thought, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like bouncers, but it is interesting, but it's not for kids.
So it's a violent film about bouncers?
No, it's like there's this bloke, he wanders around with his kids. Yeah. And then, there's two, pretend, kind of punks, but you'll recognise them straight away because there's that many characters you'll recognise. They've been in adverts and films and programmes.
Like actors?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep remembering, I keep getting thoughts of that I want to pursue, and then my mind goes blank, and I don't know. You just said something there, Luke, and it made me want to say something, and I cannot, for the life of me, think what it was. Oh well, it can't be that. It can't be that important.
To tell you this, it is what when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, yeah, I've got to get this, and
it's violent.
It's not violent. It's just it is an interesting film.
Okay, well,
you need to watch it.
Well,
you'll have to let me know on Twitter.
Oh, this is what I bought a thing. You'll know about this, Luke, because you're a little bit hooky.
Yep.
I bought a thing called a Kodi. Do you know what a Kodi is?
It's where you put codes in on your DVD players.
Well, it's kind of it's a little box that you plug into your television.
Yep.
And it allows you... Oh, Cass found it. What does it say about clubs?
You said it's not violent. Right. Plot.
Well, I don't think it... Well, it is a bit, but it's not for kids.
Well, Danny, a lonely factory worker intimidated by life, is battered and humiliated in front of his kids in a
Says it
random
right.
act of violence. His already bleak existence sinks further into the abyss. On the verge of total breakdown, he decides to fight back. That sounds quite fighty. He meets a group of nightclub doormen who take him in and give him the confidence to stand his ground. As he's drawn deeper into their world, he becomes embroiled with a local gangland boss, again quite violent, and setting in motion a chain of events with shockingly brutal consequences.
But you need to watch it. It is an interesting film because you'll recognise the actors and actresses.
Yeah, Maxine Peake's in it.
Like I said, I got it off that website, £5.
Colin Salmon.
On Blu-ray.
Luton's Colin Salmon.
Well, I will, Luke, I shall be looking out for that and avoiding it like the plague.
Neil Morrissey's in it.
Oh, Jerry's on the line. Evening, Jerry.
Oh, the only club I like is Disney Club.
Yeah, well, exactly, you see, exactly. How you doing, Jerry? You sound a little bit better tonight.
Yeah, a bit depressed.
What's wrong?
I got cut off by Sam Delaney this afternoon.
Well, why'd you get... Well, you know...
He couldn't understand me.
He couldn't understand you?
Yeah, so he just cut me off.
Well, you know, yeah, I can understand why that would depress you.
I appreciate you because you give me the time.
Because we don't get many callers, Jerry. We'll take anybody. I'm joking. But I listen, I can understand why that would upset you. Of course I do. I can also understand, you know, because we go back years, me and you, and I kind of know the situation. And Sam's show is a lot more fast paced than this. And
he doesn't know, does he?
He doesn't know, and he might have thought you were having a wind up, or he might have just I don't know. And not everyone's got the time to make a little bit of an effort to listen.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate.
But he's a good man, Sam. I'm sure he didn't mean any malice by it. I like Sam.
I like Sam. Sam is a funny man.
Yeah.
Quite witty. I was going to say. Oh, I bloody forgot. Just give me 2 seconds.
Well, that's why he cut you off, not because you couldn't understand what you're saying, because you couldn't remember what you were going to say.
I think you've got Alzheimer's coming on here.
There you go. You've got everything going on there. Blimey.
Shake and bake.
What's that? Take and bake?
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. There we go, you see. That'll do it. Have you remembered what you called in for?
Just give me 10 seconds.
1, 2.
Oh, don't.
3. No, he said for 10 seconds. I treat every caller normally.
It's a final count.
4, 5.
Joey Tempest. I can't. Oh, just give me. Hang on. It's going. No, it's gone. I'm sorry.
We've all been there.
You've been there several times tonight.
Yeah, I have. That thing where it's just on the tip of your tongue and then it just kind of falls back into your brain, doesn't it?
I thought it was an excellent gag when that bloke was on just. I can't remember it. Flew by.
Say that again, Jerry, because I am struggling a bit.
That bloke.
Which bloke?
The one who was on just.
Luke.
About his violent film.
Oh, yes. Would you like to watch a film called Clubbed about a man who gets battered in front of his kids?
No. Tell you what I did do once. Falsely imprisoned somebody.
You falsely imprisoned... Hang on a second, here we go.
Oh, this is taking a turn.
How did you do that?
I locked them in the toilets and quick save.
Specific. What was their crime?
16 years old. Working quick save, filling shells.
Yes.
And that's why you locked the ladies' toilets up. Bit shy. Shouted and nobody answered, so locked up. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. 8 o'clock in the morning, the bloke opened the door and the woman was standing behind the shutter.
Flipping heck, man. I hope you got done for that.
I got moved to a different quick save.
That would do it.
No such thing as a free shopping.
That would do it. Jerry, listen, good to talk to you, mate. I've got to go to a break.
Okay, take care,
Take
Iain.
care, fella. Tutty bye. Tutty bye. Tutty bye. Sam, stay there. You'll be next. 0844 499 1000. There's no straight to air. You call up, you book your place like you do normally. We're here Monday to Friday, 10 to 1. There'll be no podcast tonight. Well, there will. Well, what you
There is,
expect?
actually.
All right. Well, what's happening?
Because everyone's having a go at me and they've forgotten.
No, they're not. What we've done is that we've come up with a cunning plan to
They're
make the
having
podcast. Hang on a second.
Go on.
I have come up with a cunning plan to make the podcasts even better. But
Yeah.
it means you'll get them a little bit later. It means you'll get them tomorrow. All right. Bear with us. It will eventually work in your favour. In that instead of getting the first hour of the show, you'll get the last hour of the show.
Which you're probably, more likely to miss.
How's about them apples?
But the thing is, lots of people are not very happy about it. And some...
Lots of people can kiss my chuddies.
Well, some are telling me off. But I know they're only doing it in a loving way.
But there's going to be we'll put Danny Baker
But you've
on.
got Danny Baker anyway. I've done it already, so it's probably already there.
All right, well, there you go. 0844 499 1000. We call you back. Sam's on the line. Evening, Sam.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, good, Sam. What you got for us?
I want to talk about game shows and stuff.
Yeah, go on.
There's one that I really like, and that is The Cube. I think it's called The Cube with Philip.
Oh, I flipping love The Cube. I love The Cube.
was so good.
We used to play The Cube in my house with Satsumas.
It was so brilliant. Like, I love, like, as like a film person, like, I love, like, slow motion and all that sort of stuff.
Who's the woman? The mysterious masked woman in The Cube?
Oh, I don't know. It's like Mystic's wife.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Pip's wife. I don't know who that was. But yeah, no, I like The Cube. Do you like The Cube, Kath?
No.
What?
Never watched it.
What do you mean you don't like The Cube?
Never watched it. No, never watched it.
Okay.
I'm not really into game shows, full stop. Boring.
The Cube is more than a game show, it's a way of life.
Okay, well, I missed out on that.
The worst game show that I know of, though, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's literally just like, all those things you have in arcades for like...
Shove Apney.
What?
You mean Shove Apney? What's it called? That thing.
Tipping Point.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. What's the point in that? Like, it's literally just like the sort of thing you get in an arcade, but just
but it's skillful.
on TV.
It's skillful. The thing is it's brilliant, right? Because you get more tuppennies to the more questions you answer, the more tuppence you get, right?
Yeah.
And then you get your tuppence
Let's
out.
bring it back to tuppence.
Steady on. And then you get it's skill where you drop it, when you drop it, and how hard you drop it.
Yeah, how hard you push it.
Exactly. It is skill. It is skill of
Yeah, but they don't push it, do they? It gets dropped for them.
They press the button, though.
Wow.
Yeah, but still, it's probably just by a machine.
No. You're both wrong on this. It's brilliant.
Got magnets and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally about it. It's a really boring call. I'm sorry.
No, there's no boring at all. Don't you worry about that, Sam. Excellent call as per usual. 0844 499 1000. Where are the newspapers? Oh, they're down
I brought
there.
them in.
They're on the floor, it's right. I'm trying to send someone some songs on a thing and I'm getting confused. I'm trying to do two things at once. And, people are now retweeting me rubbish websites. The Space Jam one is a classic. Yes, classic. 0844 499 1000 is the telephone number. Here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out acupuncture can double the chance of IVF pregnancy.
Oh,
Now,
really?
no.
Where are they sticking it?
Well, exactly. If one of the needles
Goes in
is
a
an
condom.
erect penis, and it's in, that does increase the chances of pregnancy. This is from Colin Fernandez, the science
Oh,
correspondent.
that joker.
Steady on. I've got a lot of respect for that man. Hey, here's the thing.
You haven't.
When I was a kid, I got when I was 14, 15 years old, in fact, let's find this. When I was 14, 15 years old, I got all of my knowledge about the dark arts from three sources.
Right.
And I had an Aleister Crowley hagiography.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Could never read it, it was too big, but I did have one. I had another book about black magic. And I also used to get copies of The Unexplained magazine.
Oh, I used to get that.
And that was proper spooky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Photos of bodies that had spontaneously combusted.
Yeah. Be like just a bit of pile of ash.
But the most terrifying thing, and it'll be mentioned in that Will Storr versus the Supernatural book you're reading.
Don't spoil it.
Well, not the specifics of it. You'd have come across it already. They gave away a flexi disc with one issue
They did.
of EVP,
Mhm.
electronic voice
Projection.
Basically, if you tune, and my boys can experiment with this now, if you tune
Don't, no.
a
it's
radio to static,
too-
you can record the voices of the dead.
Or taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers speaking in Latvian saying, help me, I'm burning, I'm burning.
No, that was on the flexi disc, right?
Now, my sister and her
Apparently.
boyfriend Wes at the time, they listened to this record once. They were so scared of it, and they were like 18. No, they were 17. That they folded it up, fold it, threw it in the bin.
Was it that it was rubbish? Or
No, because they was properly scared.
Were they?
Properly scared, right?
Go on.
Then comes cocky locky me, 14. They said, you do not want to listen to that, it is terrifying. I went, oh, right. They went out. Mum went out, house on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got the record from their bin.
Playing with fire.
Yeah. Thought, I'm not scared of this. Went downstairs. Curtains drawn, lights down.
Oh, the best way.
Put the record on.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been so terrified in all my life. Absolutely terrified. I mean, like, properly thinking, sweet Jesus, someone come home and save me before these demons destroy me.
But don't just burst in because you will actually soil yourself.
I was so terrified.
Right.
What was the magazine? The Unexplained.
The
I wonder
Unexplained.
if it's on the Unexplained Flexi. Let's see if it's on YouTube. Someone will have uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh, I don't know if I want to hear it, if it's so terrifying.
No, the Unexplained magazine EVP. Let's try that. There we go. What's this?
Careful.
Here we go. The internet's playing very slowly, which
That's what happens.
Says to me,
Your battery's going to drain now.
yeah, it says to me something is. Here we go. What's this? There we go. Very slow internet. Very slow. Closing some windows here to try and get a bit of bandwidth. What we're about to hear is actual voices of the dead.
So much in our universe
Not
just
this one.
cannot be explained.
Oh, this is an advert.
Just cannot.
This is an advert for the Unexplained magazine. Flippin' heck. Hang on, here we go. Flippin' heck. I might buy all these on eBay. I bet they're on eBay.
So much in our universe just cannot be explained, but just cannot be ignored. Events and phenomena, past and present, defy so-called rational explanation. How much do we really know? And how much are we allowed to know? Now, week by week, a new publication examines new evidence and explores the theory. The Unexplained. At newsagents now.
That was an advert for the Unexplained.
I want to buy it. Where can I buy it? 1982. Go on.
Well, I can't find the actual. Recording from that, and I don't want to start digging in. Well, I can't find the actual recording.
Right.
Okay, let's just find one. Let's just find. All right. Ghost EVP. Let's just find one at
Do you know
random.
what?
Stay there, Luke and David and CJ will come to you in a second.
Reading that book made me kind of want to do one of those ghost things. I've done them before and they were always pony.
5 terrifying paranormal EVP and EMF recordings. You're unbelievable. Here we go. Booting it up. One time. Oh, it's taking its time. Let's go to David. Yes, David.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
Yeah, well, it was a couple of things you mentioned earlier. The TV programmes got me thinking.
Yes.
Because my dad, well, he was at the BBC.
Oh, yeah.
Where some unfortunate things happened, which I'll mention in a moment.
Oh.
But, and rather like you, we weren't allowed to watch ITV.
Yeah.
But then he got a job at ITV, so then we had to watch ITV.
Yes.
And he always claimed he was the man that put Wurzel Gummidge on television when he was at Southern Television. So kudos to him. But then also, he then moved on to Yorkshire Television, came home one day with this quiz show, showed it to me and his brother, a pilot, and it was 3, 2, 1.
Oh, flippin' heck.
Yeah, and we watched it, and we kind of said, yeah, it's all right. But I said, you got to get that old git. You can't have Ted Rogers on it. No one will watch it, and everyone did watch it. So
yeah, everyone did watch it. It was the most insane program. It made no sense whatsoever.
No, really bizarre, and I never ever got those clues at the end. It was, I think it was written by someone on acid or something.
Well, yeah, it was.
It's like my first is in.
It was designed. Yeah, it was even more complicated than that. Well, of course, what's made of metal and has got 4 wheels? Well, it could be a car, or it could be a bin with 4 wheels in, and it's got a lid. Well, that lid, of course, could be from a cooker, or it could, of course, be a lid on an airport as you make your way to fantastic Spain. It was that, wasn't it?
Mental.
By the way, to buy the complete 157 editions of The Unexplained on eBay, £75. I think I'll be all right.
Yeah,
thanks
pass.
very much.
Yeah, I think we'll pass on that.
What was the terrible thing that happened? Are we allowed to ask?
Oh, well, the thing at the BBC was, and I remember in the early months, both you and Kath were saying, "Oh, Tony Blackburn, nice person," and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, you know when they did the Dame Janet Smith Seville abuse report came out.
Yes.
And then Tony, as a result of that, kind of got the elbow from the
shafted,
BBC.
yes.
Well, yes. Now did.
Well, hang on a minute. Are you about to libel someone?
No, I'm not going to libel anyone. This is all in the Dame Janet Smith report.
Well, which I have. Well, hang on a minute. Which I haven't read.
It's on the internet.
Well, yeah, okay. And I'm sure what you're going to say is absolutely true.
No, there isn't going to be any libel at all, I swear.
Okay, go on then.
Well, yeah. Well, so Tony's claim was, when these claims against him, the BBC said, yeah, we investigate it. And Tony said, well, this is nonsense. They didn't investigate me at all. Well, old Dame Janet Smith dug out these various BBC memos. And there was one written by this guy about the complaint, saying, oh, well, yes, we had a complaint about Tony, but he's a fine chap. I think that's rubbish, but I phoned his agent up.
Yeah.
And Tony said, oh, yeah, he just went out for a meal and then went home to watch Elizabeth R on the TV. So this was in there. And then this guy said, yeah, we had a word with Tony, but, he denied all the allegations, though he said what he said was completely different to his agent. And it turned out the guy that wrote all these memos was my dad.
Oh, flipping heck!
Yeah.
Blimey, David! You got, and he said David Trump, you got Tony Blackburn the sack!
Oh, well, indirectly. but
good
final
story.
sign-off.
I'm glad we stuck with that. Yes, go on.
But the final sign-off, a few people said I should phone in anyway. But I was the one that I wrote a story about you cured my mum's dementia, kind of.
Oh, listen, we're late for a break, but go on, just tell this, because this was the most wonderful thing I've read in ages. Go on.
Okay, yeah. Well, I went to see my mum today. She's in a nursing home.
Yeah.
And she's been there for a while. And I talked about various things, and she kind of knows she's got 2 boys, but I have to remind her which one I am, but the nicer one. And,
well done, yes. The one that wants to do well in the will, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. And she asked me what I was up to, and she tends to forget, and I various mentioned things, and I said I listen to this show quite a lot. And then suddenly a kind of light came on. She says, oh, yeah, it always used to make me laugh, because she used to listen to you a lot on LBC. And, and then she started going on and reminded me that I was once a correspondent on your LBC show.
God, blimey.
But she had to phone me up one day so that I wouldn't be struck off your correspondence list. And started going on, saying, oh, yes, he was rude about that Nick Ferrari and Steve Allen.
Knockers Fat Ferrari, yeah.
Yeah, Knockers Fat Ferris as well, yeah. And she started going on, and Clyde Bull, she mentioned, and she went on to about 10 minutes, and she said, oh, well, do say hello to him, as though I was some kind of long-lost friend. And, that was brilliant. And
well, bless your mum, and say hello to her from me. And isn't it funny the bits of information, the useless bits of information, it would seem, that we retain?
Important things.
Yeah.
But, a very final thing, to celebrate that, she bought me 2 tickets for the film ring.
Oh, hooray!
David,
and I'll let her know that she's done that tomorrow.
David, you're a good lad. Lots of love to your mum. Thank you very much for that. Luke, Nick, CJ, stay there. Come to you after this.
The text spoken by the voices and the sound volume are exactly the same as in the original recording. To help the air adapt itself to the strange rhythm, rapidity and softness of the voice entity's speech, each utterance is repeated several times. The voices here selected are grouped according to the persons addressed and their respective answers, followed by a translation and explanation. They are examples chosen to give the reader a breakthrough, an acoustic illustration of the material presented in the book. The listener is asked to read any text spoken in languages he does not know, with particular attention, so that he may be able to grasp each separate word phonetically. Please note the commentary that goes with each voice text, as the meaning of some utterances can only be understood in context with the situation that gave rise to them.
The first voice is that of Margarete Petrowski, who had told the experimenter during her lifetime that she did not believe in an existence after death. After her passing, the experimenter asked her how she felt in the beyond, and a voice, identified as coming from Margarete, answered, "Bedenke, ich bin." German, imagine, I am. Again we hear Margarete Petrowski's
Wait for
voice,
the one about them burning.
this time calling her former employer, Dr. Zenta Maurina. Zenta.
That sounds like a song.
Wait till when they say they're burning in Latvian.
Now the experimenter asks if Margarete can hear him, and a voice replies, Kostja, ja. German, Kostja, yes. The voice then calls the experimenter's family name, Raudive, but shortens it to Raudiv. And now we hear in Latvian and German, Koste, tu tik na. Koste, you are so near. Now the experimenter calls the Russian poet Vladimir Mayakovsky, and a voice answers, Mayakovsky. The experimenter tells the poet how difficult it is to convince people of the reality of the voice phenomenon, and in reply comes a statement which is typical for Mayakovsky's personality. Konstantin, pluj. In Russian, Konstantin, spit on it. The experimenter talks to his former teacher, the Spanish philosopher Ortega y Gasset, and the voice calls out, Ortega.
You can hear it.
Oh, a bit, yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
The experimenter asks whether the research into the voice phenomenon had any significance and whether it was based on firm foundations. The voice answers, Entrollas muchas cuestiones. Spanish, you will solve many questions.
Oh, we don't get to the bit about the burning. That
Good.
must be on side 2. That is proper me up, honestly.
That's it.
Yeah, it has. What do you reckon, CJ?
That hurt my head.
I am scared. Genuinely scared.
I don't blame you. I think we're all scared.
I don't blame you. Will Storr records those voices.
I know. I think it would be different if
He's recorded those voices, and you trusted him.
Have you seen the Periscope points and what just happened there? They've all started going, is it still going on? Is it still happening? I'm scared.
Yeah. Exactly. Because, honestly, I'm scared. I am scared. I am genuinely. Will Storr versus the Supernatural. We'll get him on again at some point, because he's brilliant. It has made me question my attitude towards ghosts and the supernatural. It really, genuinely, it really has.
Ian, I just had a phone right to my ear with that playing. Yeah. Imagine how bizarre that was.
Yeah. Well, we were just sat in the studio for 5 minutes playing a really bad quality flexi disc from 1981.
Yeah,
so
I saw on Periscope, I saw Kath just sat there like, WTF.
Which, of course, stands for Why the Face.
Yes, exactly.
What the hell is this? What are you doing?
Spooky, isn't it? Spooky.
Well, no, I was waiting for the big revelation.
I think this is. I think there's more going on than we give it credit.
I've lost all the magic in my life.
Oh, I'm proper spooked now.
No, I'm on your Periscope.
Yes, hello.
And underneath your Periscope logo, there's a love heart.
Oh, yeah.
And a number that says 3,193,919.
Yes.
Now, is that the amount of people that have liked?
That's the amount of hearts.
Is that the amount of farts?
That's the number of hearts, not farts. That's the number of. That's the number of hearts.
I'm a bit surprised with you.
Yes, well, it's a little bit windy in here tonight. That's the number of hearts.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah, you see.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Oh, blind.
Anything else? Because I want to squeeze Nick in.
Yes. You said you had 10 tickets left for your movie night.
Yes.
Why don't you auction one of those tickets off for charity?
No. 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 Nick, you got a minute.
Why?
What? Why?
I was just
Why?
So I was stringing in about your movie night thing, movie ring.
Go on.
Yeah.
Why not do about Kung Fu Hustle?
Because I think Kung Fu Hustle's
film.
we'd be hard.
No, you haven't done it. No,
hang on. We'd be hard pushed to get a guest. We wouldn't get Stephen Chow on. And
why?
people, because he's like a big Chinese superstar. Have you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
No.
It's brilliant. We won't get Stephen Chow. I tell you what, Nick.
Kung Fu Hustle is a classic film.
It's a great film, but loads of people have seen it. It's a big film.
It's not that big.
It's a big film. Kung Fu Hustle's big. It's not as good as the first one, Shaolin Soccer. Yeah, the Shaolin Soccer. Okay. I'd like to, but no. Stephen Chow was touted as being the next Jackie Chan.
Why?
Because he did these. I mean, Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer are these insane karate films, right? But with a brilliant sense of humour. He had the humour of the Jackie Chan films, and they're brilliant films. We'd never get Stephen Chow on, because he's a big Chinese superstar. That's it. That's your lot, dear listener. Wowzers! What a busy show. We had over 1,100 people watching on Periscope. We had Danny Baker. We had Brendon Burns. We had loads of calls. Kath is back due to a legal loophole. There will be podcasts aplenty coming out of your ears. Until tomorrow, ta-ta.
Talk Radio.
We got entertainment, and we're not afraid to use it. Talk Radio.